Hi, gozaimasu, konnichiwa, konbanwa, wherever you're at in the world. Welcome to Last Raps Baseball's live commentary of the Nippon Professional Baseball League. The commentary and views are our opinions and are not affiliated with the NPB, the Pacific League, Central League, or their sponsors. We are giving English reports on the game being played and hope that English-speaking audiences and fans around the globe can enjoy the games on YouTube and Twitch along with us. Tonight, we are going to be giving you the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles and the Seibu Lions. And this game here is going to be the second game of a three-game set. And we'll first of all give you the starting lineups from the visitors from Tohoku. Leading off and playing in left field, wearing number 6 is Haruki Nishikawa. Batting second and playing second base, wearing number 24 is Fumiya Kurikawa. Batting third and doing the designated hitting is number 3, Hideto Asamura. The cleanup spot in right field, where number 35 is Hiroki Shimouchi. Batting fifth and playing first base, where number 12 is Jose Marmoleos. Batting sixth and playing shortstop tonight, wearing number 5 is Igor Emoji. Batting seventh in center field, wearing number 8 is Ryosuke Tatsumi. Batting eighth at third base, wearing number 7 is Daichi Suzuki. And batting ninth and doing the catching is number 26, Jinjiro Simatani. And they're going to be facing the left-hander for the Lions, and that is going to be Shinosuke Sato. He takes to the hill with a 2-3 record. He's worked 25 innings. He's allowed 26 hits, 11 runs, 9 of which have been earned. He's walked 7 and struck out 17, and he's got a 3.24 earned run average. And now the starting lineup for the home team, the Seibu Lions. Leading off and in center field, wearing number 72 is Seiji Kawagoe. Batting second and playing shortstop, wearing number 62 is Natsuo Takazawa. Batting third and playing second base, wearing number 5 is Shuta Tanasaki. In the cleanup spot and playing first base, wearing number 3 is Hutaka Yamakawa. Batting fifth at third base, wearing number 60 is Takiya Nakamura. Batting sixth and doing the catching, wearing number 37 is Seinitsuge. Batting seventh and doing the designated hitting, wearing number 1 is Takumi Kuriyama. And batting eighth in right field will be Ito. And batting ninth and in left field is number 7, Yuji Kaneko. And they are going to face a left-hander for the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. It is going to be Takahisa Hayakawa. He brings a 3-1 record to the mound with 32 innings pitched. He's allowed 23 hits, 6 runs, 6 of which have been earned. He's walked 5 and struck out 25, pitching to a 1.69 ERA. And that is your starting lineups for tonight's ball game. After Sato completes his warm-ups, we'll be ready to get this one underway. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be back in about 30 seconds at the top of the first inning. Glad you guys could be with us here tonight. Hold tight. Welcome back, everybody. The left-hander Shinosuke Sato has completed his warm-up tosses, and we're ready to get this one underway. It is going to be the top of the order: Nishikawa, Kurikawa, and Asamura, the 1-2-3 hitters in the Eagles' batting order. For the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles, they had their 11-game win streak snapped the other night as they dropped the final 2 games of the series against the Chibalote Marines. Here's the first pitch of the ball game. It's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is 1-0 to Nishikawa. The left-hander Sato is facing the left-hander Nishikawa, and he's ready to go back to work. He works from the stretch with nobody on, and here's the delivery. That is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 1-1. The Golden Eagles dropped last night's opener in this series, so after winning 11 straight, they have dropped their last 3. They're looking to stop the bleeding here tonight in Saitama against the Lions. Here's the 1-1 pitch. There is a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is now 2-1 to Nishikawa. Nishikawa on the season is batting .285. He's got 5 homers and 24 runs batted in. He was the Offensive Player of the Month in the Pacific League for March and April. It was the first time that he has received that award, and he is with the Golden Eagles for his first season after spending the all of his career with the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters. And there is a fastball swung on. It's grounded softly over to second. Ranging to his left is the second baseman, Tonosaki. He fields it. He flips to first. Nishikawa is grounded out 4-3 for out number 1 here in the first inning. So 1 up and 1 away. And that is going to bring up the second baseman, Fumiya Kurakawa. For Kurakawa on the season, he's batting .256. He's got no homers and 1 run batted in. He bats from the left side against the lefty Sato, and there is a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. As we've said before, this is a left-handed laden lineup for the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. They don't shy away from batting their lefties against left-handed pitching. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count goes to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes to Kurakawa. When I look at their lineup tonight, just off the top of my eyeballs, it looks like they got about at least a half a dozen lefties in here to face the lefty. So here comes the 0-2 offering. Sato delivers. It is a breaking ball swung on. It's grounded softly to second. It's picked up by Tonosaki. He flips it to first. Very similar looking play to the first ground out, but that is ground out number 2. It goes in the books 4-3 if you're keeping score at home for out number 2, and that will leave it up to the designated hitter tonight, Hideo Asamura. For Asamura on the season, he's batting .283. He's got 6 homers and 27 runs batted in. He is finding himself back into the form that he had in the 2020 season. And here's the first offering from Sato. It's a breaking ball that catches the outside corner, and the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Asamura. Asamura bats on the right side. He waggles the bat back and forth, and here comes the offering from Sato. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses down and in, and the count goes even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Asamura. Asamura was another one of those players who started his career elsewhere and then came to the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles as a free agent or a domestic free agent. He spent the first 9 years of his career with the Seibu Seibu Lions, so he's familiar with the stadium here and the opponents he's playing against today. This is his 4th year with the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. There's a breaking ball that just misses outside, and the count goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. He's had some solid career year numbers in his career. Certainly his arrival in Tohoku, he really took his game to another level. His first season in a Eagles uniform, he had 33 homers, followed it up with 32, and there's a breaking ball that he checks his swing on, but he's went around too far. The home plate umpire said so, and that is going to retire Asamura on strikes for out number 3 here in the first inning. So on the top of the first, there was no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We're through a half inning. It's the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles, nothing. The Seibu Seibu Lions coming to bat. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call of the bottom of the first inning after this. Hold tight. We're glad you could be with us, either live or on delay. Here is our friend, Steve Rademacher.
Hello, guys. Thank you for joining Freddie here on his baseball game. And I'm Steve Rademacher, and my channel is really all about everybody, including all my international friends. We have such stuff as non-sport packs from Canada, the OP Cheese. We have the Greek Freak. We have money from around the world. We have lira. We have yen. We have francs. We have pounds. We have Deutschmarks. We have all kinds of cool stuff like that. We even have some cooler things like Japanese women wrestlers and OP-Chi baseball cards where I cannot read the back. We even have unopened material like the royal family, I know it's backwards, from London, England. Thank you for watching. Back to Freddie.
Appreciate you, Steve. We'll be back in 30 seconds with the call of the bottom of the first inning. Hang tight, everybody. We're glad you're with us. Welcome back, everybody. Takahisha Hayakawa has completed his warm-up tosses, and we're ready to get the bottom of the first inning underway. It is going to be Kawagawa, Takazawa, and Tanasaki here to face him in the top of the first inning. And the first pitch is a fastball swung on and missed, and the count is 0-1. For Seiji Kawagawa, he is only in his second game. He's got 4 at-bats. He's 1 for 4 on the season. There's a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count is now 1-1. So the first 2 hitters in the order here are making pretty much their season debuts. They made the other night. There's a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count is 2-1. As there are some players missing from the Seibu Seibu's lineup. One of them specifically is Brian O'Grady. He is back in the United States as his wife is giving birth. There's a fastball that is swung on, and it's grounded foul past the first base bag, and the count goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Kawagawa. So a couple of players in the lineup that we don't relatively see. Suzuki Genda is also out of the lineup tonight. There is a breaking ball swung on. It's grounded over to first. It's fielded neatly by Jose Marmoleos, who races to the bag in time to retire Kawagawa for out number 1. So 1 up and 1 away, and that is going to bring up the shortstop tonight, Natsuo Takazawa. For Takazawa on the season, he, like his counterpart and leadoff hitter Kawagawa, is only 1 for 4. He's had 4 at-bats. So he's batting .250 on the early going. He steps in on the left side to face the left-hander Hayakawa. And here's the first offering. It is a fastball swung on. It is popped up over on the left side of the infield. Moving over underneath it is the third baseman, Suzuki. He makes the catch. And 2 up and 2 away here in the bottom of the first inning. And that's going to leave it all up to Shuta Tonosaki. For Tonosaki on the season, he's batting .233. He's got a homer and 9 runs batted in. The Lions are not playing the best baseball this year, as they are certainly struggling out of the gate. Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles have been streaking, but now they've lost 3 in a row and are starting the streak the other way. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Tonosaki. Looking at some of the numbers, certainly recently, and of course the Seibu Seibu Lions are 1 game above 500. There's a breaking ball that misses low, and the count is now 1-1. They are at 19, 18, and 1 on the season. They are right now nestled in 3rd place in the Pacific League. There's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away, and the count is 1-2. They started slowly, but they've started to turn it around a little bit. The Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters are currently secured in last place, 13 and 25. The Chiba Lotte Marines and the Oryx Buffaloes are right behind the Lions. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away. The count remains at 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. So the Lions, obviously, in this series here are playing the big boys, or one of the big boys, as the Eagles and the Hawks are battling out for the first and second spot. So here comes the 1-2 offering to Tonosaki. Kawa holds at the belt. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is lined up the middle. It's a base hit. Tonosaki is aboard with a 2-out single, and that is going to bring up Hataka Yamakawa. For Yamakawa on the season, he is off to a great start. He's batting .361. He's got 14 homers and 31 RBIs. He's one of the most dangerous hitters in all of Japanese baseball. He's off to a blistering pace with the home runs. And right now, the Pacific League has seen a power outage compared to last year. Home runs are down nearly by half. But Yamakawa would never have known that. He is 30 for 83 at the plate. And here comes the first offering from Hayakawa. He holds at the belt. He checks the runner. And now he kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes to Yamakawa. We've got our friend Shotgun Shell 80 in the house. So he's looking for some runs tonight. We thank you for stopping in. That's our friend Billy, who was in the house. Here comes the 1-0 pitch, and there's a fastball swung on and missed. The count is now 1-1. I would say this pitching matchup tonight is probably, on paper, not going to yield a lot of runs. Both of these pitchers are fairly effective of keeping the opposition off balance. So far, Hayakawa has had a much better year in terms of doing that. Only 6 earned runs in 32 innings. His counterpart, Sato, has a respectable season going for himself. He's only allowed 9 earned runs in 25 innings. And there's a breaking ball that misses, and the count is now 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. So lefty Hayakawa ready to go back to work again. He checks the runner at first. And he kicks and fires. There's a changeup swung on and missed. And the batter, Yamakawa, was way out in front. Shotgun Shell 80 says he's going against the grain tonight, anticipating a lot of runs to be scored. Well, we'll have to see what happens. I think usually once the summertime and the weather starts to heat up, that's when the balls start flying around a little bit more. And I don't think we're quite there yet. Here's the breaking ball swung on and missed, and Yamakawa is gone on strikes for the 3rd out of the inning. So for the Seibu Lions in their half of the 1st inning, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left the board. We're now through 1 complete. It is the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles nothing, the Seibu Lions nothing. Stick with us, everybody. We'll be back at the call at the top of the 2nd inning after this from our friend Steve Rademacher.
Hello, guys. Thank you for joining Freddie here on his baseball game. And I'm Steve Rademacher, and my channel is really all about everybody, including all my international friends. We have such stuff as non-sport packs from Canada, the OP Cheese. We have the Greek Freak. We have money from around the world. We have lira. We have yen. We have francs. We have pounds. We have Deutschmarks. We have all kinds of cool stuff like that. We even have some cooler things like Japanese women wrestlers and OP-Chi baseball cards where I cannot read the back. We even have unopened material like the royal family, I know it's backwards, from London, England. Thank you for watching. Back to Freddie.
Thanks again, Steve. We appreciate you and your support of the channel, and in turn, we support Steve Rademacher. We've got our friend Vivid Life in the house. He says, you know what time it is? It's the 3rd shift on the East Coast, but over here, it's always the 1st shift because it's Japanese baseball, and that's what we love to do. And so it's going to be the heart of the Tohoku batting order coming up. That means it's Hiroki Shimouchi, Jose Marmoleos, and Igoro Moji, the 3 players for the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles tonight. They are going to be facing the left-hander Sato, who is coming up for his 2nd inning of work. He was pretty efficient in his 1st inning, as he only threw 12 pitches. So here we go. We're ready to get going. Ruben says he loves Jalisha. Please shut us out. There's a 1st pitch breaking ball delivered to Shimouchi that misses down for a ball, and the count is 1-0. Wow, that is awesome, Ruben. And so we're glad you could pop in to make it in here tonight. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. There's a breaking ball that misses inside, and the count is now 2-0 to Shimouchi. For Shimouchi on the season, he's batting .284. He's got 3 homers and 19 runs batted in. As we said, he is another lefty in the lineup. 3 of the first 4 they roll out, all hit from the left side. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count is now 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike to Shimouchi. Sato leads in. He gets the side from his catcher, and he's ready to deliver. There's a breaking ball that misses upstairs, and the count now goes to 3-1. Shimouchi has slowly started to raise his average on the season, as he entered the game tonight hitting .284. When we saw him in the last series against the Chibalote Marines, he was down in the 250s. So he is starting to get hot, and that's good news for the Eagles. There's a fastball that misses upstairs. Shimouchi has drawn himself a leadoff walk here in the second inning. That's going to bring up the first baseman, Jose Marmolejos. Troy is in the house tonight. We welcome you, Troy. He says, I'm hoping the Eagles win tonight. Troy dropped off the last part of the Trolls part, but we're glad you could pop in here with us. So Jose Marmolejos steps to the plate, and as we said, 4 of the first 5 batters so far, all left-handed sticks. Marmolejos is batting .246 on the season with 3 homers and 15 runs batted in. And here comes the first offering from Sato. It's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Marmolejos, pretty stocky fella. He really, as we look at him, he's got a pretty good build. You can see he's just looks like he's built for power. There's a breaking ball that comes across the plate, and the count is now 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. You know, it's really a breaking ball league in the Japanese league. They throw a lot of off-speed stuff. They also throw a lot of split-finger pitches. So you see a lot of breaking balls with the fastballs. You don't always see the change pieces so much. There is a breaking ball that is swung on and missed. And Marmolejos has gone on strikes for the first out of the inning. So that's going to bring up the shortstop tonight, Igor Emoji. When I looked at the starting lineup, I had to do a double take on Moji. Moji, when we saw him play last year, he really was holding down the third base position. But with the injury to Kobakata and the inefficiency of Yamazaki, it gives him another option. He's only got 8 at-bats this year. He is 1 for 8 on the season. He also bats from the left side. So 5 of the first 6 hitters are left-handed sticks against the lefty Sato, and there's a first pitch breaking ball that's fouled away, and the count is 0-1. He's only 1 for 8 on the season. This is his 3rd game that he's played. I haven't seen Emoji since last year, or Igor Emoji since last year, and he is, it looks like he's added a few pounds to his frame. So here comes the 1 strike offering. Sato checks the runner. He kicks and fires. There's a fastball that misses outside. The count goes even to 1-1. So Moji gets himself set in the batter's box. He's ready to go again. We saw him last year quite a few times, and he really had some big games for the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. The 1-1 offering, and there goes the runner, and the catcher, Suge, lost the handle on it as Shimochi takes second. As he went to exchange the ball, the ball ends up popping out and coming out of his glove. So he stole a base for Shimochi, and he is now in scoring position with 1 away. We didn't get the pitch on that one to Moji. It looked like it was a ball outside. The catcher, Suge, seemed to be able to receive the ball, and he looked like he had a clear throwing lane. Just was unable to make that exchange. And here comes the 2-1 offering. It's a breaking ball that catches the outside corner for a called strike. The count is now 2-2. So that 3rd pitch was a ball. We're unable to determine that from the umpire, and as we were blocked by the catcher trying to make that play. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Moji waiting on the offering from the lefty Sato. He kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on. It is fouled away. That keeps the count at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. I'm going to have to go back and take a look. But Ryosuke Tatsumi waits on deck. I believe he is a switch hitter. But we'll know when he comes to the plate. And if he's not batting from the right side, and that will probably indicate that he shut that down, because I remember last year when he led off the season for the Golden Eagles, he was hitting from the right side. There is a breaking ball that misses down to Moji, and the count is now 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Sato ready to go back to work. He gets the sign from his catcher, Suge. holds at the chest. He checks the runner, and now he kicks and fires. It's a fastball that misses down and away. And Moji has got himself a base on balls. Last year, every time we used to see the Golden Eagles play, Igor Emoji used to have these great games. It was always something when we showed up. It was like he was always there to do something. I'm just taking a look right now, and the hitters in the lineup, as we suggested, there are 7 lefties in the lineup tonight against the lefty Sato. You would not see that in North America, as they play the matchup game quite a bit. But again, in Japan, a lot of these coaches, they don't worry about that stuff. They're going to roll their best guys out there who they think are their best. So Ryosuke Tatsumi steps to the plate. He is batting from the left side. As I mentioned last year, I believe he was swinging from both sides of the plate, because I remember in the season opener, he was that way. And there's a fastball swung on. This ball is lined up the middle. Here comes the throw from center field. It's going to be cut off as the runner at second base, Hiroki Shimouchi, comes around to score. Just like that, the Eagles are flapping their wings. They got a base hit RBI from Tatsumi. And they are now up 1-0. Moji has stopped at second. And Shimochi crosses the dish for a 1-0 lead here in the top of the second inning, and that will bring up Daichi Suzuki. For Suzuki, he's batting .204. He's got a homer and 7 RBIs. So Troy is pumping his fist. He wants the Eagles to score some runs. And I guess we're going to have to find out. The Eagles are going to be able to snap this losing streak. And I would have a hazard a guess that I would think that the are probably going to end up winning these next 2 games in the series. If I was putting money on it, there's a breaking ball that misses down and away. And the count is 1-0 to Suzuki. So if you're a Saitama Seibu Lion fan, I apologize to you. But I think the Golden Eagles are going to get this figured out pretty quick, and they're starting to show it here. So 1 ball and no strikes to Suzuki. Sato gets the side from his catcher, Tsuge. He checks the runner at second. And he checks him again. Now he kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. And the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. It is not a full house, or even close to a full house in Saitama. Gotta see these 2 teams play. Curious to see what the attendance for this afternoon's game is going to end up being. There's a fastball that misses outside, and the count is 2-1. We watched some of the games in the earlier part of the week in Tohoku, and there was some what I would call questionable attendance. There were day games. We saw a lot of school children in the stands. So here comes the 2-1 offering. It's a fastball that comes inside and hits Suzuki. And that is going to load the bases. That's what Sato did not want to do. The trainer has come out to check on Suzuki, but just like the other night, sometimes the theatrics of the Japanese players getting hit by the pitch. This one here got him right on the shoulder blade, the right shoulder blade, as he turned inside. So the question is going to be, is he going to go down the tunnel, or is he just going to go straight to the base? It wasn't like he hit you with a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. That pitch, they've got the magic spray out, so now the trainer is applying the magic spray. And they do have the pitching coach out now to talk to Sato as he's loaded the bases with 1 out here in the second inning. And that's going to bring up the catcher, Jinjiro Sumitani. So defensively, they've got the middles in double play depth. They have moved the corners in. There is 1 away, and the 9-hole hitter, Sumitani, coming to the plate. He's only the second right-handed stick in the lineup. So what we would call a fairly efficient first inning for Sato has turned disastrous here as he's loaded the bases with 1 out here in the bottom of the or top of the second. And the first pitch is a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. And the count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Simitani. A right-handed stick. Waits on the offering. Sato holds at the belt. And now he kicks and he fires. It is a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. And the count is now 0-2. Simitani looked there. He looked kind of shocked that that was the strike. The way he turned back to the home plate umpire, I don't know what he was looking at because that pitch looked like it was pretty good. It was definitely a hanger. I would have said that that was not much better than a high school breaking ball. The only person that should have been shocked should have been the catcher because the catcher was surprised that Simitani didn't turn on that thing. So here comes the 0-2 pitch. He set up away. Here comes the offering from Sato. It's a fastball off the outside corner. And the count goes to 1-2. So we get the replay on that one. It was a pitch that was right down the white line of the batter's box, of the left-handed batter's box. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Simitani. And here comes the offering from Sato. It's a fastball that misses down in the dirt, and the countdown goes to 2-2. We're still checking some of the Major League Baseball games that were going on outside, or this one began. The Phillies and the Dodgers, we were watching there in the bottom of the 8th inning. In some ways, it looked like a Little League game. It's 9-7 for the Phillies. That game has seesawed back and forth. We had a little bit of that action going on earlier. So here comes the 2-2 pitch. Kick and deliver. There is a fastball swung on. This is fouled away. And the count remains at 2-2 to Simitani. All of the games are underway in the NPB, and we'll give you some live scoring updates on those as we move along. Every game except the one in Hokkaido have runs already on the board. So for those of you who are spending your money in gambling, it might be a night that we're going to have to do some of that stuff. Our friend Shotgun Shell says Detroit was a winner today. Small victories, especially when it's against the Orioles. There's a fastball that misses up and away. And the count is now 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to Simitani. Bases are loaded with 1 away. There's nowhere to put him. You know he's going to get a good pitch to hit here. So here comes the 3-2 offering. The runner at third is Moji. The runner at second is Tatsumi. Suzuki is the runner at first. And here comes the 3-2. It is a breaking ball swung on and fouled away. It's going to reach the seats over on the first base side. And again, that keeps the count at 3 balls and 2 strikes. If anything here, Sato is really having to work. He's thrown now 39 pitches. 27 have come in this inning alone. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to Simitani. He is a double play candidate. He doesn't run particularly well. And here comes the offering from Sato. He checks the sign, he kicks, and he fires. There's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away. It's going to keep the count at 3-2. This is already turning into a marathon at bat. This is going to be the 9th pitch of the at bat coming up. So Simitani ready to face the lefty Sato here. Sato leans in. He gets the sign from his catcher. He checks the runner at third before he delivers. And here comes the 3-2. He kicks and he fires. It's a breaking ball swung on and another pitch fouled off. And here comes one of those famous marathon at-bats. This is going to be the 10th pitch of the at-bat to the catcher, Simitani. This is where they can really take the sting out of the pitcher. I'd be curious after this inning if he's able to stick around or if they'll continue to roll him out. We saw a Major League game earlier this week when Bo Brisk of the Tigers had a really rough first inning, but he was able to settle down. So this is a little bit different as we're in the second inning here. Here comes the 3-2 offering again. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is belted down the left field line. If it stays fair, it's trouble, but is just going to land foul into the corner. And that is going to keep the count at 3-2. That would have probably cleared the bases if it stayed fair. We're getting the replay of that one. That ball was absolutely scorched, but it was hooked foul down the left field line. Almost took off the head of the ball boy down the left field line. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Simatani waiting on the offering again. Here comes the next pitch of this marathon. Pitch number 11. Here it comes. Sato delivers. It is a breaking ball swung on and missed. Simatani is retired on strengths for out number 2. That'll bring up the top of the order, Haruki Nishikawa. For Nishikawa, he is 0 for 1 tonight. He grounded out to second his first time up. So Nishikawa, the reigning player of the month in the Pacific League, is looking to do some damage here against Sato. So Sato ready to go back to work. He holds at the chest, he kicks, and he delivers. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is looped over towards short, and it is going to be fielded by Takizawa. And that is going to do it here in the second inning. The Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles get a run. They threaten for more, but do not score more. And so after 1.5 innings, it is the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles 1, the Seibu Lions nothing. To recap the inning, there was 1 run in the inning on 1 hit. There were no errors and 3 runners left the board. We're now through that 1.5. We're score 1-0 for Tohoku. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments with the call at the bottom of the second inning. Here's our friend Dave.
Hey, welcome back. Thanks for checking out Last Wraps. We had some winners in last month's mystery pack giveaway. The names right here, and maybe here are the winners. Make sure you are following the instructions on our other video to qualify this month for a pack of mystery cards from Zero Fox Sports Cards. Thanks for checking it out. Enjoy the ball game.
Welcome back, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments with the call of the bottom of the second inning. It is 1-0 for the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. We're glad you're with us. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the 5, 6, and 7 hitters coming up to bat for the Seibu Lions in their half of the second inning. That means it's going to be Takiya Nakamura, Seina Suge, and Takumi Kuriyama. And they are going to be facing the left-hander Takehisha Hayakawa. Kawa was pretty quick and smooth in his first inning of work. Only threw 16 pitches, as he retired 3 of the 4 hitters that he faced for the Lions. So Nakamura steps to the plate. He's hitting 189. He's got 3 homers and 10 runs batted in. And the first pitch is swung on and fouled away, and the count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Nakamura. The boys in the middle of the Lions lineup, Yamakawa and Nakamura, they are some big fellas. They do not miss many meals, that's for sure. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is belted to deep center field. Racing back is Tatsumi. He's on the warning track. He looks up, and it is gone. A home run for Nakamura, as Nakamura has tied the ball game with 1 swing of the bat. All that work in the last inning for the Golden Eagles to come away with 1 run Nakamura is able to retie the game at 1 now with a home run to straightaway center field. Just like that, the Lions are back in the ballgame. And it is going to be something that the Eagles are going to be lamenting. They loaded the bases. They were able to get 1 run. And just like that, Hayakawa serves up a gopher ball that flies right over the center field fence. And now we're knotted at 1. And that is going to bring up the catcher, Sena Suge. For Suge on the season, he's hitting .233 with a homer and 3 RBIs. He takes a first pitch fastball outside for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Kawa ready to go back to work. He delivers a breaking ball that catches the inside corner, and the count is now 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strikes to Suge. The Lions are, here's the breaking ball delivered, and it is lifted foul. It's going to get into the netting on the first base line, and the count now goes to 1-2. The Seibu Lions are missing some players, as we said tonight. There's no Suzuki Genda. There's no Brian O'Grady. And you look at some of their other players in their lineup, and you can see that they're a little bit on the thin side, but the players are getting it done because their team is a game over 500. There's a fastball swung on and lifted foul. It's going to reach the seats on the first base line. And the count is 1-1. Or check that, counts 1-2. Look at some of the bench players tonight for the Lions, and there's a breaking ball swung on. It's in the dirt and misses. So Tani has to come out and field it. He throws to first. It's going to go down as a strikeout 2-3 for the putout for the first out of the inning, and that'll bring up Takumi Kuriyama. Just looking at some of the players on the bench tonight, and they do have some of the regulars that are getting the night off. But they also have some other ones on the bench that are getting the possibility to be able to play. As I said, the North American players are definitely out of the lineup tonight, being O'Grady being one. There's a fastball that's taken for a called strike. Count is 0-1 to Kuriyama. Kuriyama's only hitting $167. He's got no homers and 7 RBIs. Gets the start as the DH, and here comes the delivery. It's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. And the count is 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes to Kuriyama. Kawa ready to go back to work. He delivers. There's a fastball that misses up and away. The count runs to 1-2. We look at some of the stats of the players. We look at some of the teams. There's a fastball swung on. It's grounded to short. Moji fields it over to first, and that is going to retire Kuriyama on a ground out 6-3 for out number 2. And that will leave it all up to the right fielder, Ido. We look at some of the stuff. We try to take a peek at some of the players and some of the results and some of the stuff that they're doing. Offensively, right now for the players in the Pacific League, there's a first pitch that's breaking ball that's down to Ido, and the count is 1-0. The Pacific League, we talk a little bit about it. The leader in batting is Go Matsumoto. There's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is 1-1. So where are the teams that are there? Well, we've got Matsumoto Imamiya for the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks, Masataki Yoshida. There is a breaking ball that is swung on and tap foul. The count is now 1-2 to Ido. When we're looking at batting averages, so only 3 qualified players right now in the Pacific League that are hitting 300 or better. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. And there is a breaking ball. This is swung on. It is lifted into left field. It's going to get down for a base hit. And Ido has got himself a 2-out single. And that's going to leave it up to Yuji Kaneko. So I look at some of the players. So Yoshida is with the Oryx Buffaloes. Imamiya is a SoftBank Hawk. The players that are next, there's a number of Eagles that are there. I look at some of the others. O'Grady is actually 11th in the league in batting. So he not being in the lineup is a little bit of a loss, or is a big loss, as both he and Suzuki Genda have the best batting averages of qualified players. Qualified players, that's with the enough at bats. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is belted to deep left field. Racing back on the warning track is the left fielder Nishikawa. He leaps and makes the catch right up against the wall. Kaneko sends it for a ride, but that is not going to leave the park. And he has retired for the third out of the inning here in inning number 2. And so a nice play by Nishikawa, and that is going to keep the score at 1s. So there in this half inning, there was 1 run on 1 hit. There were no errors, and 1 runner left the board. We're now through 2 complete innings. It is a 1-1 ball game between the Seibu Lions and the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments with the call of the top of the 3rd inning. Here is our friend Steve Rademacher once again.
Hey guys, and thank you, Freddie. Steve coming back at you. That's right, Steve Rademacher. I would like to thank each and every one of you that is tuned into my channel. And today, let's do a little shout out for some other great channels you should be watching. There is WVlogs 18. There's Big D's Sports and Collectibles. You all know another Hollis build. Why not Like Father, Like Son? That's a great duo that does some great stuff. It shows some great cards. And of course, the one and only Bud Stoney, creators of One of Ones, a creator of One of Ones, and they're all signed on the back. Bud Stoney, One of One, like this beautiful Robin Yount that he made for me. He made me another Robin Yount, this time mini, and a Christian Yelich mini. Great cards, and he does more than cards. We have darts of Hulk Hogan and many other things. So give them a look-see and give me another look-see. Subscribers are always welcome, and back to Freddie.
Appreciate you there, Steve, and thank you for your support of our channel. We've got Troy's Cards and Cars in the house as well. He says konnichiwa. Konnichiwa to you as well, as we're ready to go back to the action. It is the top of the 3rd inning. It's going to be Nishikawa, Kurikawa, and Asamura to get things going for the Eagles in their half of the 3rd. And Nishikawa takes a first pitch breaking ball over for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Sato ready to go back to work. He delivers a fastball. This is swung on, and it's going to reach the netting down the left field line. And the count is now 0-2. So Sato had 32 pitches in the 3rd inning alone, or in the 2nd inning alone. And he has really ratcheted up his count, so we'll keep an eye on where he's at. Here's the 0-2 offering. It's a fastball that misses just off the outside corner. And the count is 1-2. The Japanese league managers are never afraid to take their pitchers well over 100 pitches at times. Here's the 1-2 offering. And there is a fastball swung on and fouled away. And the count is going to remain at 1-2. Troy says that the Diamondbacks grabbed the win against the Cubs tonight. And the Diamondbacks have actually surprisingly played decent baseball this year for what I thought they would be. I thought they would be a tire fire, but really the Cincinnati Reds and the Detroit Tigers have been pretty much awful. There's a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count now goes to 2-2 to Nishikawa. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. I also saw today that Bryce Harper has a tear in the UCL. And so they are concerned. They're going to DH him for the next month. And then, of course, they'll probably make a decision after that. Here comes the 2-2 offering to Nishikawa. He swings at a fastball and fouls that one off over on the 3rd baseline. And the count remains at 2-2. Bryce Harper his bat will have to play out. I mean, I look at the Phillies, and my thought is it's not a very strong division. I think it's the 2nd weakest division in all of baseball, the American League East. There's a breaking ball swung on by Nishikawa. This ball is lifted into left center field. And there is a collision in left field. And we're going to see if the ball has been caught or not. No, it hasn't. Both players are down. And that is an absolute disaster. It could have been even worse. We're going to see the trainers come out. The left fielder and the center fielder, so Kawagawa, who is getting the start in center field tonight, and Yuji Kaneko collide in left center field. Nishikawa is going to be aboard. We're going to have to see how that is. I think that's going to be a base hit, but the center fielder slid, and he basically cut blocked the left fielder. And as he slid, the left fielder was not able to hang on to the ball. And that could have been a very, very serious situation. Let's hope they're okay. The living room is in the house, he says. Please shut us out. Of course, we always shut you out. That is going to be, we'll have to get a ruling on that. I think that's going to go down as a double, as Nishikawa had cruised into second base. But we'll see if they have something different. Here comes the first pitch to Kurakawa. It's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away. Troy says the young team is playing well above what was expected. Yeah, it probably is in Arizona. Shotgun Shell says the Reds have won 5 of their last 6. So yeah, they took care of Milwaukee, and now it's the Pittsburgh Pirates they're beating up on. So here comes the pitch from Sato. It's a breaking ball that swung on and fouled away, and the count now goes to 0-2 to Kurakawa. Troy said, did anyone score on that one? Nope. That was the leadoff hitter here in the inning, Nishikawa. And he is standing at second base with nobody out. So the runner at second is Nishikawa. As we said, we're going to have to get you that update to see if that was ruled as a base hit. I do believe it did come down to that. There's a fastball that misses outside. And as I go and look at that, I'm not sure what they've done here in terms of that. They have not given Nishikawa the hit, but I don't see where they have charged the error. 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Kurakawa. Sato holds at the belt. He checks the runner and he kicks and fires. There's a fastball swung on and missed. And Kurakawa is down on strikes for number 1 here. I'm just going to check on that for a second. I'm just taking a look. That's actually Asamura who's down. What happened to Kurakawa in all this? I have to apologize to my viewers here because we're looking up at a couple of things and I don't see where Kurakawa ended up here. Unless that is Kurakawa who ended up on the second base side, but we've lost a little bit here. Maybe it was in a delay in our feed. And there's a first pitch delivered to Hiroki Shimochi, and he fouls it off for strike 1. So what is happening here is unbeknownst to me. So just bear with me for a second. We'll see where we can catch this up. Have to go back and look at the Japanese site. So it looked like Kurakawa had himself a double. We must have missed, where I missed it, it was they've given the 2-base error or the 2-base hit to Kurakawa. So he has got himself the 2-base hit. Asamura has struck out for the second time tonight for out number 1, and Shimochi's at the plate with a 1-1 count. So somewhere along the line, I butchered this tonight, and I apologize to everybody for doing that. But now we've got ourselves back in the saddle. Here comes the 1-1 to Shimochi. And there is a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into shallow left center field. It's down. It gets past the center fielder. That's going to score a run. Kurakawa is home. Digging for second is Shimochi, and he goes in standing up with a double. So he's traded places with Kurakawa. A RBI double is going to score the runner from second base. And the Eagles have another one back, and the score is 2-1. So our friend Billy, who is with us here tonight, has basically said that he was calling for a big run. And that's what's going to happen here. A lot of runs being scored. So maybe our butchery of when it happened to start the entering has worked out in the favor of a lot of runs being scored here. That's going to bring up Jose Marmoleos. For Marmoleos, he is 0 for 1 tonight. He struck out his first time up. And here comes the first offering from Sato. It is a breaking ball down, and the count is 1-0. I was listening the other day to the Tiger broadcast. I was listening to Jack Morris. This would have been one of the games against the Oakland Athletics. And the Hall of Famer was talking about how pitchers would approach hitters. And he said when he used to approach hitters, he wouldn't show his full arsenal of pitches the first time through the batting order. And there's a breaking ball swung on, is grounded hard over to first base. It's fielded neatly by the first baseman Yamakawa. He takes it himself. Advancing to third is Shimochi. Goes down as a ground out to 3 for out number 2. That's going to bring up the shortstop Igor Emoji. So I'm starting to tell the story about Jack Morris. So Morris would say that the first time through the order, he would try to throw as few pitches as he could. And as Emoji steps to the plate, he does his traditional nod to the home plate umpire. I don't know about any other players who do it. They may do it, but Emoji is definitely one that always does that. So he steps into the box, ready for the first offering from Sato, who kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses upstairs. And the count is 1-0. So Jack Morris said, the pitchers in today's game come out and they start throwing all of their pitches right through the first time through the order. And he figures that's done because they're not going any more than 6 innings. So they try to use their entire arsenal. There's a fastball that is swung on and missed, and the count goes to 1-1 Emoji. So when I watch this pitcher Sato here we are in the 3rd inning. He's already moving through the order for the 2nd time. And he has pretty much thrown everything in his arsenal. Breaking ball. He's got a couple of different types of breaking balls. He's got one that's almost like a high school curve. He's got another that's like a slider. And there is that high school curve ball that swung on and fouled away into the netting. And the count is 1-2. But you want to try to establish the strike zone, especially both sides of the plate with your fastball. And then the second time through, you want to start to keep your hitters off balance by implementing one of your off-speed pitches. Then the third time through the order, maybe it's a breaking ball or your slider, or in some cases a split finger here. There's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is 2-2. But you don't want to show everybody all your arsenal the first time through the order. Especially when you show it, then the players will start to, in essence, what they're going to start to do is they're going to start to look for certain pitches in certain spots, depending on what the pitch is doing. So here comes the 2-2. Sato kicks and he fires. And that ball is swung on and fouled away, and the count is going to remain at 2-2. Our shotgun shell says maybe Moji is giving the umpires the old Lenny Dykstra approach. Yeah, you always want to sweeten them up when you come to the plate. Definitely want to make sure that you're treating them well, because maybe you can get a break here or there. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Moji. Runner at third is Shimochi. There is 2 away. And he's asked for time, and he steps out as Sato steps off the back of the mound. So Sato has reset himself. Shimochi establishes his lead at third. Sato holds at the belt. And now he kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball swung on. It is grounded slowly over to first. It's taken easily by Yamakawa. He steps on the bag. And that is going to do it for the 3rd out of the inning here. But there has been damage done. It was the 1 run in the inning on 2 hits. There were no errors and 1 runner left aboard. We are now through 2.5 innings. It is 2-1 for the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. Stick around, everybody. We'll get ourselves together, but we're glad you're with us tonight. Here's our Hall of Fame memory. Welcome back, everybody. We're moving to the bottom of the third inning. It's going to be the top of the order for the Seibu Lions. That means it's going to be Seiji Kawagoe, Natsuo Takizawa, and Shuda Tonosaki to face the left-hander Takahisha Hayakawa. It is definitely a night for the tongue twisters for me. The Japanese names, I apologize to anyone who is been misrepresented, or if I've butchered their name, I apologize in advance. There's a breaking ball that misses or catches the inside corner, and the count is 0-1 to Kawagoe. He is 0 for 1 today. He grounded to the first baseman his first time up. And here's the offering from Hayakawa. It's a breaking ball that misses inside, and the count is now 2-0. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Whew. We're going to have to make sure we get the coffee pot going here tonight. This has been one of those days, I can say. We're supposed to get some rain here on the West Coast. There's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away. Count is 1-2. So maybe it's the rain that's playing with the mind. It's been one of those ones. Rain is something that doesn't really bother me particularly. It does bother a lot of people on the West Coast. You get into San Francisco, you get all the way up the coast, and a lot of people, they get really depressed about the rain. My philosophy is as long as it's not snowing, you don't have to shovel rain, so let's deal with it. There's a fastball that misses off the outside corner, and the count is 2-2. But I will say this, having been to Japan a couple of times and having taken any type of holidays around the Christmas time or the North American Christmas holidays, there's a fastball swung on and missed, and Kawagoe is gone on strikes for out number 1. The one thing around the Northern Hemisphere is the further north you go, the days are quite short. Not like when you're in London, England, or in Scotland. But certainly here, the days around Christmas, where the sun rises just around 9 o'clock in the morning and sets around 4 in the afternoon, you don't have a lot of time for daylight. And that is probably something that is maybe more concerning, is lack of daylight. There's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. The count is 0-1 to Takizawa. He is 1 for 5 now on the early season. He hits from the left side against the lefty Hayakawa. He takes a fastball outside. The count is 1-1. But everybody's kind of got a different view on what keeps them going. So 1 ball and 1 strike. There's a fastball delivered. It is going to catch the outside corner, and the count now goes to 1-2. The one drawback is I was thinking about when we call these games, the one thing that you can do is when you start to see the one team regular, you always have some knowledge about that team as you follow them along. There's a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count is 2-2. Try to do my best to keep up on everything, both of the NPB, Major League Baseball. I don't really follow the Korean League all that much, although I was watching some of the ESPN feeds. There's a breaking ball that's taken for a called third strike. Takazawa stood there like the house by the side of the road and watched it go by for out number 2. And that is going to leave it up to Shuda Tonosaki. So Tonosaki steps to the plate. He is 1 for 1 tonight. He had a single back in the first inning, but he was stranded there. So Tonosaki is 1 for 1 facing the left-hander Hayakawa. He comes set at the belt. Now he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on. It is popped up on the right side, but this is going to drift into the seats just beyond the first base dugout. It's going to be no balls and 1 strike to Tonosaki. I was saying about the shorter days, especially the further north you go in the wintertime, it is good to be able to get away and to do things. And so I had the opportunity to get to Japan a couple of times over the Christmas breaks of 2018, 19, and 19 and 20, just before the virus took hold of everything globally. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-1 to Tonosaki. So getting a chance to get to Japan, if you've never been before, it's a great experience. The people are polite. They're very cordial. There's the 1-1 pitch. There's a breaking ball swung on and grounded foul just past the third base coach's box, and the count is 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Tanasaki in the hole here at 1-2. He'd be followed by Yamakawa should he get on here in the inning. There is a fastball that misses down, and the count is now 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. One place I've not been to in Japan is Okinawa. I'd love to be able to get there. They call it the Maui of Japan. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed. And it is held on for strike 3, and Hayakawa has struck out the side for the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles pitcher. He mows him down 1-2-3. There was no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board here in the bottom of the third. That is the 5th strikeout of the ball game for Hayakawa. Your score 2-1 after 3 innings for the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a moment with the call. At the top of the 4th inning. We're glad you guys could pop in with us tonight.
This is Steve Rademacher, and I'd like to introduce you to my channel if you haven't seen it before. These are all the things I enjoy: sports, autographs, relics, non-sports Hall of Famers, pseudo-sports, Star Wars. That's my channel name and my name, and I would really appreciate it if you would come check me out and maybe even subscribe if you like it. Thank you for that for now, and back to your ball game.
Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the top of the 4th inning. It is going to be Ryosuke Tatsumi, Daichi Suzuki, and Jinjiro Sumitani come to bat here for the Eagles in their half of the 4th inning. I was saying earlier, it's a little easier sometimes if you are dedicated to one team. Sometimes when you are following both of the leagues and trying to keep up with stuff, it becomes a little bit challenging on the day-to-day stuff. Not really as an excuse. It's just something that the announcers for the teams get to know a little bit better. I was thinking when I was watching John Jambi and Eduardo Perez do the KBO a couple of years ago. There's the first pitch breaking ball delivered to Tatsumi. It drops in for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Tatsumi tonight is 1 for 1. He drove in the first run of the ball game with a single. He bats from the left side against the left-handed throwing Sato, and here's the pitch. It is a fastball swung on its tap foul over by the first base coach's box. Runs the count to 0-2. I was saying that when I was listening to John Chambi and Eduardo Perez call the games in the KBO, you can just get the feel that they just don't have the insight on the players because they're not following them day to day. And if you're having to go to one team to the other or to the other, sometimes you miss out on certain things. There's a fastball that misses down and away. And the count is 1-2. Especially when even though there's only 12 teams in the NPB, 6 in each league, sometimes it's difficult to keep up with the day-to-day movements. And especially when you watch the Golden Eagles, you get a chance to see them play, and then you go away for a week or so, and things do change. Guys get hurt out of the lineup. Guys get cold. And there's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count runs to 2-2 now on Tatsumi. So that is part of and parcel of it. It's great when you can see a team, as I say, almost every day, because then you get not just a fan of the team, but you get to follow and know all the insights. There's a fastball swung on. It's grounded back to the pitcher. That's one thing that you don't see in Major League Baseball. It's a ground out 1-3. There's a rule in Major League Baseball. If you're ever watching a game, watch and see that the runners always touch first base. Tatsumi grounded it back to the pitcher, and he got to about the 45-foot line, and then he peels off to the dugout. And that is just completely unacceptable. Even at the big league level, you'll see the guys touch the base. It's a bit of an unwritten rule amongst the teams and the players. And Tatsumi got to the 45-foot line, he peels off, doesn't run hard through the base. That would bug me as a coach and as a manager. There's a first pitch breaking ball that misses down on the way, and the count is 1-0. I say that because the only things that they'll do is on a screaming line drive. You hit a line drive, you know what? You don't have to run that all the way through. But if you had a pop-up in the infield or a dribbler, punish yourself. Run all the way through the base. There's a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count is 2-0. But you see that often in Japanese baseball. There are a couple of things that you'll see is you won't see the guys run it out, like in that situation. You'll also see guys that will run back to the dugout. There's a fastball that catches the outside corner, and the count is 2-1. And our friend Billy says it's kind of weak. Absolutely, it's kind of weak. It's just you've always got something to work on, so you might as well work at running down the baseline and working on your home to first. There's a fastball swung on. This ball's lifted to deep left field. Camping out underneath it is the left fielder, Kaneko. He makes the grab. That is going to put Suzuki away for out number 2 here in the 4th inning. And that is going to bring up Jinjiro Sumitani, the 9-hole hitter. As I said, it kind of gives you sets the tone. The other thing you don't see is in a major league game, when a hitter strikes out, he doesn't run back to the dugout. Don't need you to hustle back to the dugout, for crying out loud, on a strikeout. Unwritten rule, they walk back to the dugout. Well, in the Japanese league, you'll sometimes see guys strike out and they sprint back to the dugout. Geez, if you brought that enthusiasm to the plate with you, there's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. You wouldn't have to sprint back to the dugout once your at-bat is finished. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed, and the count now goes to 0-2. Drives me crackers when guys are running back to the dugout. You can't run out of the field, but you want to race back to the dugout when it doesn't really matter. So no balls and 2 strikes to Sumitani. There's 2 away here in the top of the 4th inning. It's a 2-1 Golden Eagles lead, and here comes the pitch from Sato. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on it. It's driven into the netting down the first base line. That keeps the count at 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Sato gets the sign from his catcher, and he's ready to go back to work. He holds at the belt, he kicks, and he delivers. It is a breaking ball that misses way outside, and the count is 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Sumitani. Shotgun Shell says he learned that way back in 1989. There's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away. The count remains at 1-2. About 9 years old from Will Clark, who wasn't fast but run hard, and he eventually beat one out. You always want to put pressure on the defense. And so in that particular situation, that's one thing, putting the pressure on the defense, no matter how fast you are. You don't want to give them time to be able to make the play. The other thing is, too, is that, as I say, there's always something to work on. So running home to first or technique. There's a line drive right back at the pitcher. It hits Sato. It falls to the ground. He fields it. He throws to first. And that is going to retire Sumitani. So a wake-up call for the pitcher, as that ball was scorched right back at him and hit him in the thigh. He's going to come off the field, and they'll do the magic spray in the dugout. So for the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles, in their half of the 4th inning, there was no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. Sato was down the tunnel getting some treatment. We're moving to the bottom of the 4th inning. It is a 2-1 ball game. We'll be back in just a moment with more comments on that ability to be able to run stuff out. Here's another one of our Hall of Fame memories. Hang tight. Welcome back, everybody. I've got a did you know from last year that we are going to retire. This is the last time we're going to use this one. For Baltimore Oriole and Seattle Mariner Adam Jones played the last 2 years in the NPB, but he is all done now. But this is the last time we're going to review this one. Enjoy it, and then we'll retire it. back, everybody. We are moving to the bottom of the fourth inning. It is going to be the heart of the line batting order coming up here to face the left-hander Takehisa Hayakawa. That means it's going to be Hataka Yamakawa, Takia Nakamura, and Sine Suge. For Yamakawa, he is 0 for 1 tonight. He struck out his first time up. And here comes the first offering from Hayakawa. It's a breaking ball that misses down and in, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Yamakawa on the season has been absolutely destroying opposition pitchers. He's got 14 homers. He has raced out to a big home run lead here in the Pacific League. There's a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count is now 2-0. We're talking in the last inning about running out ground balls, and it was the batter for the Eagles, Tatsumi, who cut himself off at the 45-foot stripe. As I said, even major league players, they may not be the fastest. There's a breaking ball that misses outside. The count is 3-0. But you'll always see the guys, they always go and at least touch the base, even if it's at the end of the inning. Very rarely do you see guys peel off. The only time they get a freebie is if they hit a screaming line drive. They get their 2-3 steps out of the box, and that is it. There's a breaking ball that misses down. And Yamakawa's got a 4-pitch walk here in the fourth inning. That is going to bring up Takia Nakamura. So that is a nuance of the game. There's a few nuances of the game that we see in the Japanese league that are different than in Major League Baseball. One of the things is foul balls that go into the stands have to be returned. I'm not sure why in Japan that happens. I know in Europe it's also the case. Well, the reason they do it in Europe is because they don't have a regular supply of baseballs at their leisure. It's not like you could go down to the corner store and buy some. What you do see is you'll see the baseballs that are supplied over in Europe. They'll give the kids either a euro or some sweets to be able to bring the ball back if it gets hit into the stands. There's a breaking ball that's taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1 to Nakamura. Nakamura has the only run for the Lions tonight as he did hit a solo shot his first time up. But that is one nuance in the Japanese league. Another one is when the pitchers in between innings, they'll get up and start throwing in front of the dugout. And they will be keeping themselves loose. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away. And the count is now 0-2 to Nakamura. And you'll see that regular. Every pitcher will get up and they'll just start playing catch, nice, loose, and easy. And depending upon how long the inning may go, they are on kind of the egg timer. They'll get out there and start doing it. Usually about 8 or 10 minutes in if it starts to go long. So here comes the 2-strike offering to Nakamura. And Hayakawa holds at the belt. He checks the runner. He kicks and fires. There's a fastball swung on and missed. And Nakamura is retired for the first out of the inning. And that is going to bring up the catcher, Sina Tsuge. So other nuances that you see in the Japanese league, or at least I will see in the Japanese league, as we said, one is running back to the dugout after strikeouts. Well, certainly that is not the case with Nakamura. He takes his sweet time getting back to the dugout. We talked about the running out the balls in the infield. Another situation that you'll see is the playing catch in front of the dugouts. There's also an import limit. And here comes a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. And the count is 0-1. And Shotgun Shell says, yeah, another one has 100 pitches on the mound. Well, not just 100 pitches. I've seen some guys in April go 130 plus pitches. Love it. Absolutely love it. Tells me that the agents haven't got a hold of the Japanese league yet. There's a breaking ball that misses down and in. The count's 1-1. Saw Yoshinobu Yamamoto of the Oryx Buffaloes go well over 120 pitches for a shutout early this year. He is the ace of their staff. If I'm not mistaken, he's going tonight for the Buffaloes. We'll have to check in on that as well. So here comes the 1-1 offering to Suge. And Hayakawa kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball that misses up and in. And the count is 2-1. So hits will be at a premium for the Chiba Ball Club tonight if it is indeed Yamamoto. And that's exactly who it is tonight going for Oryx. He's got a 2-hitter through 5 innings, as does Sato for the Marines. The only difference is that Yamamoto has struck out 7 in his 5 innings of work. There's a breaking ball that is swung on and missed, and the count goes even to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Suge. Suge has asked for a moment of time as he's gone back to the on-deck circle to get some spray for the bat. So Hayakawa waits for his return. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Also, the number of import players that you can put on a roster or on a game sheet is also there as well. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. There's a breaking ball swung on. It's grounded over to second. It's fielded by Kurikawa over to shortstop Moji, covering the base for 1. Back to first. It's an Eagles double play. That was a really well-turned double play. So Suge is a double play candidate. He doesn't run particularly well, but that is the 4.63 variety. That is going to do it here in the 4th inning for the Lions. They had no runs. There were no hits. There were no errors. And there was nobody left the board. We are now through 4 complete innings. It is the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles 2, the Seibu Lions 1. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call of the top of the 5th inning. After this, we're glad you guys could be here with us tonight. Check this out.
Hey, welcome back. Thanks for checking out Last Wraps. We had some winners in last month's mystery pack giveaway. The names right here, and maybe here are the winners. Make sure you are following the instructions on our other video to qualify this month for a pack of mystery cards from Zero Fox Sports Cards. Thanks for checking it out. Enjoy the ball game.
Appreciate you, Dave. Be sure to check out his channel after the game, and you can get yourself a mystery pack of cards. All you got to do is let him know Last Wraps Baseball sent you, and he will be able to do that for you. All right, everybody, we are moving to the top of the 5th inning. It is going to be the top of the order coming up for the Eagles. It'll be Nishikawa, Kurikawa, and Asamura. So 1, 2, 3 in the batting order. It is a 2-1 ball game between the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles and the Seibu Lions. As we said, it is a bit of a sparse crowd here tonight between these two teams. The pitcher Sato is coming out for his 5th inning of work. I would have never guessed that the way the 2nd inning worked. But yet here he is, ready to go back to work. Last night they had 10,121 Friday evening. Here's the first pitch. It is a breaking ball that misses down to Nishikawa, and the count is 1-0. I would say that if they got that many here this afternoon, it would be pretty amazing that would happen. I don't think that there is a huge crowd. There's more empty seats than there is patrons. There's a breaking ball that misses inside. The count is 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. The right tonic for some of the players was to be able to play in this stadium. There's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 2-1. And one of those players is Hiroki Shimouchi, who is just started to pick up his pace, and he has really picked it up here in this series. He's got 3 hits in his 5 at-bats. There's a breaking ball swung on. It is grounded over to first. It's fielded neatly by the first baseman, Yamakawa. He flips it to Sato covering, and the ill effects of that line drive in the thigh are not shown here, as that's going to go down as a ground out 3-1 for out number 1 in the 5th inning. That is going to bring up Fumiya Kurikawa. For Kurikawa, he is 1 for 2 tonight. He doubled his last time up on the collision that took place in left center field between the center fielder and the left fielder. He later came around and scored a run on the RBI double by Shimochi, and there's a breaking ball that misses down in the way, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes to Kurikawa. Sato, the lefty, ready to go back here to face Kurikawa, who is hitting now 268 on the season with that hit his last time up, and he takes a fastball upstairs for 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. The left-handed batter facing the left-handed pitcher, and here's the offering. It's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count goes to 3-0. So 3 balls and no strikes. I bet he can't wait to face Hideo Asamura. One of the 2 right-handed batters in the lineup has struggled tonight, as he has struck out each time. Our CV baseball card collector is in the house. There is a fastball that misses, and that is going to be ball 4 to Kurikawa. He is aboard with a walk. Our friend Shotgun Shell says the Dodgers aren't going away easy. Is that game still going on? Because I took a look at it earlier, and it was a Philly lead. I guess it is. It's 12-9 for the Phillies in the bottom of the 10th, and they've got the bases loaded. Now it's 12-10 with a runner on third and 2 outs. So you're right, the Dodgers aren't going away easy. Here comes the pitch. It is a fastball delivered to Asamura. He swings and misses. The count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Asamura. We're here in the top of the 5th inning, as Sato fires over to first base, and diving back in time is the base runner Kurikawa. Some of the stadiums are very interesting in Japan. This one in particular, too. It's a dome stadium, but it's kind of got like an open air feel to it, as it's not completely enclosed. The dome is the roof. Got a area where the wind can blow through, so you'll see that the players are usually in sleeves certain times of the day. There's a fastball that misses outside. The count is 1-1. But as you get to see some of the stadiums, it's kind of cool, just some of the designs, even the structure, the layout, the way that the field is. One thing behind home plate, there is a lot of real estate between the catcher and the backstop. But we get down the lines, some of the lines, especially in this park, and then they've got these huge netting. I'm not sure what stadiums that there's a company out here that does a lot of stuff at the KBO and the NPB, and there's a fastball swung on. It's taken on 1 hop by the shortstop, Takizawa. He throws to second for 1, over to first, but the throw is wild. And backing up the play is the catcher. So Tanasaki fires the ball over the head of the first baseman. And we're going to see if that ball stayed in play or not, or if they're going to have to make some adjustments here. So that ball was absolutely rocketed. A great play by the shortstop going to his right, Takizawa. He fielded it over to Tanasaki for 1. Tanasaki fires it, and it ends up into the camera well. It did bounce, and it took a funny hop. So that's going to be an E4. So it'll be a fielder's choice to erase Kurikawa at second. That's going to go down as 6-4 for the second out of the inning. And then Asamura is going to go all the way over, as he is going to reach that on a throwing error. He probably would have been retired at first base. They're not going to give him a hit on that, that's for sure. And that brings up Hiroki Shimochi with 2 away. This is where the Eagles have an opportunity to make them pay, because we should be out of the inning right now. And now you've got Hiroki Shimochi, who has raised his season average to 289, stepping up to the plate. He's already got an RBI and a stolen base in this game. He is 1 for 1 and a walk. So Shimochi waiting on the offering. Here's the 1-0. It's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is now 2-0. So instead of being out of the inning and having Shimochi lead it off, that would have been the next one. Our friend Troy's Cards and Cars asked the question, is Tyler Austin still playing in Japan? And the answer to that is yes. I want to say he is with the Yokohama Dana Bay Stars. But I also understand that Tyler Austin may have got hurt early in the season. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. Count is 2-1. I have to admit, I don't really pay attention to the Bay Stars all that much. CV Baseball Card Collector says, so who are the most familiar Americans playing in Japan? Well, in this game here, Brian O'Grady plays for the Seibu Seibu Lions. He just came over this year, but he is away on maternity leave as his wife is giving birth in the United States. There's a breaking ball that misses down and away. The count is 3-1. So I'm not sure when he's back. He'll probably be a few days as he's flying back home and then to have to come back. O'Grady was with the Padres and the Kansas City Royals the last couple of years. And he's actually come off to a pretty good start for the Lions. Last year, they had Corey Spangenberg was signed to a 2-year deal. And I remember when Spangenberg was a first-round pick of the Padres, there's a breaking ball that misses down and away, and Shimauchi has got himself a base on balls, and Sato, who could have been out of the inning, has now got runners on first and second, and the pitching coach is coming back out again. And that's going to bring up Jose Marmoleos. So Jose Marmoleos was the AAA MVP last year. He was up and down with the Seattle Mariners. But to be quite honest, there wasn't really an opportunity for him to play regular. And so him getting an opportunity to come over to Japan. So Troy asks, Spangenberg isn't back in the league. Spangenberg, if I'm not mistaken, signed with the St. Louis Cardinals. He's in AAA there. And his numbers are very similar to what he was doing in Japan. I got to tell you, he was stinking it up in Japan. I watched some of the games last year, and his approach at the plate was just horrendous. As I said, when he first came into the league in the big leagues, he was a first-round pick of the Padres. He was, I believe, a junior college player. You don't see a lot of JUCO guys taken in the first round. And he was okay, and he started off all right, but his career was on a steady decline. And basically, he ended up in Milwaukee, and there were a couple other places he went to. And he found a place in Japan, and I think that he would probably drive the manager there crazy with some of the stuff that he did or didn't do. There's a first pitch fastball delivered to Marmoleos that misses outside, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. So when I think of some of the other players or some of the other North American players, Freddie Galvis signed a 2-year deal with the Hawks. I think it was 2 years, $8 million. But he was stinking it up, and he got sent down to the farms. You're playing in Japan, and you get sent down to their farm team. That's starting to tell you where your game is headed. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed by Marmoleos, and the count is 1-1. So he was finding it a rough go. Also for the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles is another player named Chris Gittens. And we saw Gittens play, and he took a swing. I forget who they were playing. It might have been the Lions. He took a swing, went down in pain, and on the at-bat, he had partially separated his shoulder. I've not seen him back in the lineup since. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Jose Marmoleos. And here's the offering, and it's a breaking ball that misses down and in, and the count is 2-2. So Chris Gittens, that was really unfortunate that he took that swing and separated his shoulder. And it was ironic because we were doing the stream that night, and his cousin came into the stream and said, hey, look, can you tell me when Chris Gittens is coming in? He's my cousin, and so on and so forth. And we were talking a little bit, and I said, I hate to break it to you, but your guy looks like he's in trouble. And there's a fastball swung on this. It's belted over the right fielder's head. It gets over Ito's head. It's off the wall. Marmoleos is digging for 2. It is extra bases, and a run is going to score. And that is going to increase the lead to 3-1 as Asamura crosses the plate. Shimauchi is going to stop at third. And there is another run on the board here for the Golden Eagles, as they've now taken a 3-1 lead on the RBI double by Jose Marmoleos. So CV Baseball Card Collector asks, is Adam Jones still in Japan? So he signed a 2-year deal with a 3rd-year option. And no, he's not back in Japan this year. They declined the option on him. To be quite honest, it was kind of sad to watch Adam Jones play last year because they had him playing first base. They had him playing in some different spots that you're used to seeing. And there's a fastball swung on by Moji. It's grounded through the 6-hole. This is another run that's going to score. Shimauchi crosses the plate. Stopping at third is Marmoleos. It's an RBI single for Moji. And so the hit parade is continuing now. And when you think about it, it was the error on the back end of the double play that would have ended this inning. And now it is starting to be runs galore. So now it is going to be runners on the corners, and that'll bring up Ryosuke Tatsumi. And the pitcher, Sato, can look over at his shortstop, Tonosaki, and say, or second baseman Tonosaki, and say, hey, this inning's done if you don't throw it into the camera well. You got that right. So the Eagles now have themselves a 4-1 lead as Tatsumi steps to the plate with 2 out. Again, this could only be a 2-1 ball game. We should be out of that inning. So Moji is the runner at first. Marmoleos is the runner at third. Now, when you start thinking about, I think of the hitters more importantly than the pitchers, although there are some North American or former big league pitchers that are making a name for themselves in the bullpens in Japan. There's a fastball that catches the outside corner, and the count now is no balls and 1 strike to Tatsumi. Tatsumi drove in the first run of the ball game tonight with a single, knocking in Shimauchi back in the second inning. He's also grounded back to the pitcher, and we talked about his failure to run out a ground ball all the way to first base. So here comes the 0-1 pitch. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away. The count is now 0-2. Troy says the Eagles need to hold on. Yeah, the Eagles do need to hold on. This would be a stop their 3-game losing streak after their 11-game win streak. Now the catcher, Suge, is going to go and give a first and third. CV Baseball Card asks the card collector asks, so the Cubs have a Suzuki. Is or was he a top-tier player? Yeah, that would be Seiya Suzuki. He came over from the Hiroshima Toyo Carp. And he is probably in the prime of his career. If I had to give you a scouting report on Suzuki, there's a fastball that misses down and away, and the count is 1-2 on Tatsumi. I would say that Suzuki is, well, he's not an Ichiro. I don't think he's Hideki Matsui, but I think he will slot in nicely as about a player that is just behind a Hideki Matsui. I think he's going to have a nice big league career. He's had a good month the first month, but he's tapered off a little bit. But he's got some juice in the stick, and he plays pretty well defensively. There's a fastball that misses upstairs. They're asking for help down to the third base umpire, but they say he didn't go. And the count now is 2-2. So Troy says, when my daughter was in country, I contacted Jay Jackson through Twitter, but that's when I thought we were going to Japan to visit her. Well, interesting. Jay Jackson was with the Chiba Lotte Marines, if I'm not mistaken. He got himself into some trouble over there, but it ended up going away. For those of you who are listening in that are Americans who may decide to go over, having possession of marijuana in Japan will get you 10 years in prison. And so here comes the 2-2 offering to Tatsumi. Sato delivers. It's a fastball that misses off the outside corner, and the count goes to 3-2. And when we're talking about number of pitches, I got to do a double take, but I believe we're up to 108 pitches now. So our friend Billy, who's been listening in, that's pitch number 108, and we are here in the 4th inning. I've got to double check that to make sure my math is right. That's exactly what it is. So here we are in the 5th inning and 108 pitches. There's a breaking ball that misses down. That's going to be ball 4, and it's going to load the bases full of Eagles. Let's see if they're going to leave them in there or if they're going to go to the pen. They do have action. But boy, they're really slow here making some decisions on the mound. I think they're going to let Sato hang. As Tatsumi is aboard with the walk. Yeah, Makako Garkovo is in here. He says, can't believe 10 years. Yep, 10 years for possession. I'm not sure about distribution or intent. So anyways, what happened is as we've got Daichi Suzuki coming to the plate with the bases loaded and 2 out here comes pitch number 110 of the ball game. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. So apparently there was something going on with his girlfriend. He had a Japanese girlfriend over there, did Jay Jackson. And I don't know if there was a breakup. And the next thing you know, there was a quote unquote domestic dispute. And then the police came and got involved. And then there was an accusation that he had marijuana. There's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is 1-1. I believe Jackson was with the Carp, and then he went to the Marines. I have to go back and look at it for the accuracy of this. And basically what had ended up happening is he ended up getting his release and left Japan, and it kind of was washed under the table. So whether he had marijuana or not, or whether the accusation was there from the girlfriend, don't know, but wasn't a good look in the newspapers. And, you never want to prove somebody guilty or assume somebody's guilty until they're proven guilty. So 2 balls and 1 strike. We've got some others in the house now, as we've got Makako Garkovo here, Mr. Cap. So Makako says, how do you feel about no runs in the 6th inning? Well, not sure about that, because I have a feeling there's going to be a pitching change here in a couple moments. Now it's 3 balls and 1 strike as that breaking ball missed down and away. We're going to be the 114th pitch of the ball game coming up here for the young left-hander. Pitching coach is on the phone. Not sure what he's doing on the phone. He should be going out to hook this guy out, because ever since that error by the second baseman Tanasaki, this whole inning has gone sideways. Here comes the 3-1 pitch. There's nowhere to put him as the bases are loaded. And there's a fastball swung on it. It is grounded to second. Tanasaki fields it. This time he throws it to first without throwing it into the camera well. And that is going to do it for Suzuki. That goes as a ground out, 4-3 for out number 3. So for Sato in the inning, unfortunately for him, he gave up 2 runs. It all came after that error. There was 2 hits. There was an error, and there were 3 runners left aboard. It is now 4-1 for the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles over the Saitama Seibu Lions. It hasn't been the bats of the Eagles, but the defense of the Lions that has got everything being suspect right now. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments. Here is our friend Steve again.
Hello, kids. Steve coming at you. It's Steve Rademacher. And if you like interesting stuff, if you like to laugh a little bit, and if you enjoy collecting, this channel's for you. If you like non-sport cards, we have them. You like pseudo-sport cards, we open them. Even if you like entire boxes of completely pointless stuff or other sports, we have everything here. I drop a different video every day, and there's always a theme to it, from No Filter Friday to Saturday morning cartoons, even Sunday shoutouts. Once in a while, we'll get a little froggy and show Money Money Monday, where I showcase a bunch of my currency. We have Legos, we have Star Wars, we have a good time. We even have my brother on Takeover Tuesday. Be there or be square. Back to Freddy.
Welcome back, everybody. It's going to be the bottom third of the batting order here for the Lions in their half of the 4th inning. And the first pitch is a breaking ball that misses outside to Kuriyama. The count is 1-0. It'll be Takumi Kuriyama, Ito, and Yuji Kaneko here to face the left-hander Hayakawa. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed, and the count is 1-1. Troy says he didn't make it to Japan anyway. His wife and I ended up having a daughter, and his daughter had a daughter, or his daughter had a daughter also. That's pretty cool. About 4 days apart, opposite end of the globe. There's a breaking ball that swung on and missed. So you're a dad again and a granddad all at the same time. That's pretty cool. Sounds like my mother's side of the family years ago. And there's about a 25-year age difference between the oldest and the youngest. There's a breaking ball that is swung on and missed. And Kuriyama has gone on strikes for out number 1. We were talking a little bit about the players that are in the Japanese league that are American players. As I said, the Seibu Seibu Lions with Brian O'Grady offensively. And some of the teams, like last year, the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks, would have different ones. We also had, there's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike to Ito. The count is 1-1 there. Ito is 1 for 1 tonight. He singled his first time up. And Hayakawa delivers. It's a fastball that misses inside. The count is 1-1. The Hanshin Tigers last year had 8 international players on their roster. Well, you can only put 4 on a game sheet at the time, and there's a fastball swung on it as line foul down the first base line, and the count is 1-2. And so people were wondering, what are they doing with all the pitchers and the hitters? So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Kawa ready to deliver. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count now goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Ito. So they had a number of players. They had like Jerry Sands, former Dodger and Red Sox. They had Justin Bohr, who was an absolute disaster a couple of years ago. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is belted to deep left field. Moving back in front of the warning track is Nishikawa. He's going to make the catch. And Ito is going to be retired for the second out of the inning. So 2 up and 2 away, and that'll leave it up to Yuji Kaneko. So it looked like that ball might have had the opportunity to go, but really it just died in the air. Ito looked like he turned on it, but just didn't have enough juice to put it out. The Lions players were leaping off the bench thinking it was gone, and it's time to get into the weight room to do a few more curls because that was only warning track power. So here comes the first pitch to Yuji Kaneko. It's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Vivid Life says, chaos at his hotel tonight. He's now back. Are my Eagles soaring? It is. They are up 4-1 here in the bottom of the 5th inning, courtesy of some early Christmas presents by the Seibu Seibu Lions. As that breaking ball is fouled away, the count is 0-2. And here comes the pitch. It is a breaking ball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep left field. Racing back is Nishikawa. It's off his glove. It's off the warning track and off the wall. Digging for 2 is Kaneko, and he is going to race around to third, and that is going to be an extra base hit. We're going to see if there's going to be an error in that, but it could be a triple because that was definitely not ordinary effort. But Kaneko sent that ball away. It just kept drifting and carrying right over the head of the left fielder Nishikawa. Nishikawa actually started in, and then he had to race back, and as he was racing back, it was off his glove and then up against the wall. And then the carnival ensued for him to try to get that ball back in. So that's going to bring up the top of the order, Seiji Kawagawa. So Kawagawa steps to the plate with 2 away here in the bottom of the 5th inning. As we say, we'll have to get you an update on that to see if they're going to give a triple. And there's a first pitch fastball that misses inside. The count is 1-0. I'll have to see what the official scorer has to say on that. To rule it an error, or are they going to rule it something else? Haven't given it an error yet. And there's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike on Kawagawa, and the count is now 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Sometimes they're not always quick. We look at, there's a couple of different box scores. I'm not sure if you guys are interested I can post a box score up for you that you're welcome to follow along with. There's a fastball that I swung on and fouled away, and that's going to run the count at 1-2. So for those of you who are interested, this is a really good English box score. I'll put it in the chat. You're welcome to pop it and save it. Yep. Shotgun Shell says first step was back. Well, not in Kaneko, or not in the case of the left fielder Nishikawa. There's a fastball swung on and missed. And Kawagawa goes down for the second time tonight on strikes for out number 3 here in the 5th inning. So for the Lions in their half of the 5th, there was no runs. Got to get an update to find out if that was a hit. And we'll take a look there, and it's still not giving us the update. I don't know if the score, yep, they did rule it a hit, and it was a triple. So no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left aboard. The runner, Kaneko, was stranded on third with that triple, but no damage done. We are now through 5 innings. It is a 4-1 ball game for the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back and look at the out-of-town scoreboard from the NPB after this. Hang tight.
Hello, guys. Thank you for joining Freddie here on his baseball game. And I'm Steve Rademacher, and my channel is really all about everybody, including all my international friends. We have such stuff as non-sport packs from Canada, the OP cheese. We have the Greek Freak. We have money from around the world. We have lira. We have yen. We have francs. We have pounds. We have Deutschmarks. We have all kinds of cool stuff like that. We even have some cooler things like Japanese women wrestlers and OPG baseball cards where I cannot read the back. We even have unopened material like the royal family, I know it's backwards, from London, England. Thank you for watching. Back to Freddie.
Thanks again, Steve. We appreciate you and your support. What I will do tomorrow is there is a strong likelihood is that what's going to happen is probably what I'm going to do is I may do a community post tomorrow, and we'll give you our predictions on who we think are going to win the game straight up. We did it about a month ago, and we were 5 for 6. So I'll probably add that into the community post, and I'll give you the reasons why I think the certain teams tomorrow will do it. Once I get the starting pitchers for tomorrow's games, I'll do that midday, pop it up, and then you guys can take a look at that and let me know what you think when we're on the stream tomorrow night. We have the out-of-town scoreboard. I posted it up for you guys and for your liking, but we'll go through it with you here. I think that's one of the better ones. It works probably about 88% of the time. And I say that because sometimes it will go down, and then it'll be down for a few days, and you don't get anything out of it. So the Central League will start with their scores. It is the bottom of the 6th inning. The Chinichi Dragons have a 5-0 lead over the Amuri Giants. That game is at the Tokyo Dome. 5-8-0 for Chinichi, 0-2-1 for the Giants. It is in the bottom of the 6th inning. The Hanshin Tigers have a 9-2 lead over the Yokohama Dana Bay Stars. 9-11-0 for the Tigers, 2-7-0 for the Bay Stars. Just going back to that Giant game for a second, I think it was Matt Shoemaker who got the start tonight. We were talking about international players. Shoemaker, of course, was a Blue Jay, a Twin. He looked like he was going to get his career back on track in Toronto until he blew up his knee. Started the campaign 3-0, and then he blew his knee up a couple of years ago. Hiroshima Carp have a 2-1 lead over the Tokyo Yakult Swallows. 2-6-1 for the Carp. 1-7-0 for the Swallows. That's in the top of the 6th inning. The Pacific League, the other games, the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters have a 2-0 lead over the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. That game's in the bottom of the 6th. We are going to call that one tomorrow, so hopefully you can be on the air with us again. It'll be 10 p.m. Pacific time or 1 a.m. on the East Coast. So Hawks against the Fighters. It is the Oryx Buffaloes with a 1-0 lead in the top of the 7th over the Chibalote Marines. It is Yoshinobu Yamamoto on the hill for the Oryx Buffaloes. So 1-0 for Oryx over Chiba. And then, of course, the score here is 4-1 for the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles over the Saitama Seibu Lions. We are going to have a pitching change as Sato is done for the night. I guess his 100 and whatever 10 plus pitches is finally enough for the coaching staff. They have seen enough to finally make the change, and we do have a new reliever coming in, and we'll have to get you the update on that in just a moment. The Seibu Lions are going to the pen, and it is going to be number 25. This is Katsunori Harai in the ball game, and he is a right-hander taking over here to face the 9, 1, and 2 hitters in the Eagles batting order. So this is going to be Jinjiro Simatani, who swings at a first pitch breaking ball and fouls it away. The count is 0-1. So interesting to see the decisions. I don't know, again, and I don't know why they left their starter in as long as they did. That being said, I also don't know the status of the Lions bullpen. Sometimes you'll leave guys in because your bullpen's maybe been taxed. There's a breaking ball that is swung on and missed, and that is going to retire Simatani, who swings at 3 pitches and is retired on strikes for out number 1 here in the 6th inning. So I'm just getting caught up here. So Harai comes in and he strikes out the first batter he faces. It's for out number 1. So Katsunori Harai on to do the job here. And we will probably have a pitching parade from here on out. So one away, that brings up the top of the order. Haruki Nishikawa, and the first pitch to Nishikawa is a fastball that misses down and in, and the count is 1-0. Nishikawa is 0 for 3 tonight. He's grounded to second. He's popped to short and grounded to first. His average has slipped to 278 now on the season. And there's a breaking ball that misses outside. And the count is now 2-0. Our friend Vivid Life says it's Nippon Ham, not ham fighters. It's true. They're not battling for pork, that is for sure. There's a fastball that is taken for a called strike, and the count is 2-1. Appreciate you there, Joe, for stopping in. We thank you for that. We love your support and for you being here. So 2 balls and 1 strike to Nishikawa. And here comes the pitch from Harai. It is a breaking ball swung on. It is grounded up the middle, and it's going to get through the glove of Tanasaki. Have a day, Tanasaki, as he slid to his right. He couldn't even knock it down, but it looks like it's going to be one of those days. There's nowhere to hide out there. That's the throw into the camera well, and now a ball that got under the glove. I'm not saying he would have got Nishikawa because Nishikawa really runs well. But he dives and absolutely whiffed on it. That's going to be a base hit single. One would assume that the scorer would do that. So the runner, Nishikawa, is at first. And the right-hander, Harai, is ready to give the offering to Kurakawa, and instead he throws to first, and diving back is Nishikawa. So for Kurakawa tonight, he is officially 1 for 2. He doubled and scored a run. He's walked and he is grounded out. And again, they throw over to first, and again diving back is Nishikawa. Nishikawa is a threat to run. He's got 8 stolen bases on the season. So here comes the offering, and again Harai throws over, and again diving back is the base runner. Our friend Mr. Cap says Peach, Ian, J, and Takati type of night. Yeah, it's probably one of those nights. It's not as busy in here tonight as it is during the week. And again, they throw over to first, and again getting back in time is the base runner Nishikawa. That's 4 in a row. They are concerned about Nishikawa getting into scoring position. And I'm concerned about the catcher here, Sugi, being able to throw him out. The Eagles already have 1 stolen base today. That was Hiroki Shimochi. Harai holds at the belt. He kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball that misses down. That would have been the pitch to run on, too. So 1 ball and no strikes. So 1 ball and no strikes to Kurakawa. And again, they throw over to first base. And again, Nishikawa dives back. It's the 5th pitch already that they've thrown over to first. He's got himself a good lead. He's got 1 foot on the turf and 1 on the dirt. And there he goes. And that pitch is a breaking ball down. It is swung on and fouled away. And that is going to bring Nishikawa back to first base. And it's going to keep the count at 1-1. So 5 pitches. The pitch meter is at 5 over to first base. It was a 2-seam fastball. It was down in the dirt, and the batter, they might have had a hit and run on. I have no idea, but I think I'm going to run Nishikawa straight. Vivid Life is pounding in the chat. He says that the Swallows have tied it up over in that ball game. And here comes the 1-1 pitch. There's a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count is now 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. I'm starting to talk a little bit about the stadiums in Japan and how this one here, it's really a single level stadium. This particular one, it's a roofed stadium. I want to call it a dome. It is a dome, but there is open air at the top. So it's almost like the field of play is down in a bowl and they're in under the ground. And then the stadium, it's only one up, only one set of stands up. There is another throw over to first base, and again diving back in time is Nishikawa. So 2 balls and 1 strike. And here's the pitch from Hirai. It's a fastball swung on. They throw out. Down to second goes Nishikawa. He slides in head first, and it's going to be a stolen base. Kurikawa had swung at the pitch outside. Nice job there by Nishikawa. They have a lot to worry about. I don't think they're going to go upstairs and look at this one. As far as I'm concerned, he is safe. We're going to get it again on the replay. You throw down to second. The umpire was in the way. They may have a look at the Lions. We're going to get a different angle here. Nope. As far as I'm concerned, he's safe. I hope they don't review this. Be a waste of a review, and they're not going to do it. So the runner now at second base in scoring position is Nishikawa. It's a 2-2 count on Kurikawa. And here comes the pitch. It is a breaking ball swung on. It is lifted foul. It's going to get up into the stands, and that's going to keep the count at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Right now, for the North American travelers, if Troy is still in here, you still can't get over to Japan. They're not taking any international travelers into Japan. They have accepted business people, but we are still shut out from traveling for pleasure. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. And Hirai delivers. It is a breaking ball swung on. This is lifted into shallow center field. Racing out is the shortstop. Coming in is the center fielder, Kawagawa, and he makes the grab. That is going to retire Kurikawa for the second out of the inning. That is going to bring up the designated hitter, Hideto Asamura. So still no international travel available to Japan for vacations for anybody from North America. I understood they were going to first open up to some of the countries like Australia or New Zealand, but I really don't know where that's at yet. So Asamura steps to the plate. His average has slipped to 277 tonight. He's 0 for 3. He has struck out twice, and then he reached on the error by Tonosaki and later came to score a run, and there's a first pitch fastball that hits him. And that is going to put Asamura aboard. That's going to put runners at first and second, and that's going to bring up Hiroki Shimouchi, probably the most dangerous hitter in the lineup for the Eagles. Shimouchi tonight is officially 1 for 1. He's got a double and an RBI. He's got a couple of walks. He's scored a couple of runs. And Shimouchi, with one swing of the bat, can blow this game apart. So he steps in. He's raised his average up to 289. And here comes the first offering. It's a split finger pitch that misses down, and the count is 1-0. So the question comes in, did anyone break Tuffy Rhodes' record? And as I pause and think about it for a second, I have to think that somebody did just recently. And for those of you who don't know Tuffy Rhodes, Carl Tuffy Rhodes had come up with the Houston Astro organization, and he went over to become a superstar in Japan. Absolute superstar. The all-time home run king, of course, is Sadaharu Oh. He ranks number one. He's got 868 career homers. The next closest player was 211 homers behind. There's a breaking ball that's taken for a called strike, and the count is now 2-1. The player in this game, Takeya Nakamura, homered earlier tonight. He is 15th on the all-time list. That was his 443rd. So he is about ready to jump into 14th on the all-time list. He is in the twilight of his career. He's, I believe, 38 years old off the top of my head. There's a breaking ball that misses down and in. They appeal over to the third base umpire. They say Shimochi didn't go, and the count is now 3-1. But when you think of home run leaders or home run for season leaders, Carl Tuffy Rhodes was the one who basically came in and ended up breaking the record, but it was Vladimir Ballantyne, I believe, was the one who took care of Rhodes's record. I'll try to get some update on that for you as well. It was the Tokyo Yakult Swallows. There's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away, and the count now is 3-2 to Shimochi. And Carl Tuffy Rhodes, really, when he was there, he did not get the greatest of treatment. They were walking him left and right. Excuse me. And they were, as they were doing that, they were doing it intentionally. And finally, Sadaharu Oh had to jump in and say, just pitch to the guy. He breaks my record. He breaks my record. So what? There's the 3-2 pitch, and the runners are off, and there's a fastball swung on and fouled away. Count remains at 3-2. Troy says, since his daughter isn't there anymore, I don't have a reason other than to just see the country. But he has personal ties to other places he'd like to go to if I ever can get out of the United States again. Yeah, that's the challenge, not just the United States, but also Canada. I'm looking at probably next week, maybe taking a couple of days off towards the Thursday and Friday, making it way down to the United States. I got a friend of mine. She lives southeast of Seattle. There's a breaking ball that is swung on and missed. And Shimochi is retired as he almost falls down, getting out of the batter's box for out number 3. So the Eagles, they threaten, but they don't score. They strand a couple here. There was no runs. There was 1 hit. There were no errors and 2 runners left aboard. We are now through 5.5 innings. It is the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles 4, the Seibu Seibu Lions 1. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments with the call at the bottom of the 6th inning. Glad you guys could be here with us tonight. It's been one of those nights. Maybe that's because it was still Friday the 13th in North America when we started.
Everybody, thanks for checking out the game and Last Raps Baseball. This is Dave, Zero Thought Sports Cards. If you like pack openings, baseball, all that good stuff, check us out. Drop a comment on our channel this month to win a mystery pack of cards. All you gotta do is say Last Rap sent you to be entered. And we'll drop a video later on this month announcing the winner. Enjoy the game.
Appreciate you, Dave, and your support of our channel, and in turn, we like to support him as well. Shotgun Shell 80 says full moon in 2 days, so it's close enough. Yeah, you could tell the people are a little weird out there, that's for sure. Got the 2, 3, 4 hitters in the order coming up for the Lions, and the first pitch is a fastball swung on. This ball is going to get lifted into left field for a base hit. That's Natsuo Takezawa, the shortstop, who's aboard with a leadoff single. That is going to bring up Shuta Tonosaki. Tonosaki has been the ire of my calls here tonight, as the error ended up costing the Lions a couple of runs a couple innings ago and gifting them to the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. And then, of course, in the last inning, he dove for a ball and completely whiffed on it. So the runner at first is Takezawa, and it brings up Tonosaki here. He's looking to make amends for the meal of the defensive plays that he's made. So here comes the first offering, and it's a fastball swung on. What do you know? Grounded to short for one, over to second, and back to first, a double play. Tonosaki's hot night continues. So that's going to be a 6-4-3 double play. And that is going to erase Takezawa at second for the first out and Tonosaki for the second. Have a ball game, son. That's going to bring up the first baseman, Otaka Yamakawa. For Yamakawa, he is 0 for 1 tonight. He has struck out and walked. The big fella has got 14 bombs on the season. As we said, he's another one that doesn't seem like he misses many meals. There's a first pitch fastball swung on. This ball is belted to deep right field, and this ball is going to be off the wall. And he is digging for 2, but now he's going to slam on the brakes. That is going to be a long single. He absolutely scorched it. It was well played by the right fielder, Shimochi. He's able to get that one back in a hurry. He didn't miss a home run by much. But the big fella doesn't run particularly well, and Shimochi takes it off the short hop off the wall and is able to turn and hold the batter runner to a long single. That's going to bring up Takeya Nakamura. The aforementioned Nakamura, as we said, is about to move into 14th on the all-time home run list. He homered his first time up. He's 1 for 2. He's raised his season average to 195. So he is a Saitama Seibu legend. There is a breaking ball that misses outside. The count is 1-0. That home run he hit in the second inning was his 4th of the campaign. He doesn't quite have the same power he did in his younger years, but he is still a very dangerous hitter. So the runner at first is Yamakawa, and there's a fastball that misses upstairs to Nakamura, and the count is 2-0. He still has the ability to turn on a pitch. Our friend Shotgun Shell says, packing on some extra pounds. Yeah, Yamakawa and Nakamura look like if they didn't have a career playing baseball, they probably could have had a career playing some rugby. There's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away. They'd probably be in the scrum for sure. Definitely not the Rabbits. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Nakamura, the only run tonight for the Lions. Our friend CVB Baseball Card Collector says he's dragging a piano. Yeah, he's definitely a snowplow, that's for sure. There's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is belted to left field. If it stays fair, it could be trouble, and this ball is going to land just foul. That's short of the fence. An absolute missile that Nakamura hit, but just not far enough, and it is going to be a long strike. It's going to be 2 balls and 2 strikes now on Nakamura, and that is going to but keep him alive. The left fielder, Nishikawa, raced right over. And he ran into the wall as he wasn't able to get there in time. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Nakamura. There's 2 away here in the 6th inning. The runner at first is Yamakawa, and here comes the offering from Hayakawa. He kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball, swung on and missed. Nakamura is gone on strikes for out number 3 here in the 6th inning. So there was no runs. There were 2 hits. There were no errors and 1 runner left aboard. We're now through 6 complete. It is the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles 4. The Saitama Seibu Lions 1. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments. The call at the top of the 7th inning. We're glad you guys could be here to check it out Here is our friend Matt.
Well, you've got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the top of the 7th inning. It is going to be Jose Marmoleos, Igor Emoji, and Ryosuke Tatsumi. And they're going to be facing the Seibu Seibu Lions, pitching for the 4th time today. It is a 4-1 ball game as we are here in the top of the 7th. And it looks like there is going to be another pitching change for the Seibu Seibu Lions. The pitching parade is about to continue. It is going to be Ryosuke Moriwaki as he is coming into the ball game. He'll be the 3rd pitcher used by the Lions tonight. I always kind of say there's a rule of thumb, and the rule of thumb is 135 pitches in a ball game. And if you can be down at 135 pitches or below, you got a good chance to be able to win. The part here is that Sato was up around 113 pitches through his 5 innings of work, and that was probably a telltale sign about the Lions tonight. Either you're not throwing enough strikes or you're not getting enough defense. And in the case of this game here, it's probably really a 2-1 ball game, as that error by Tonosaki really opened up kind of the proverbial floodgates by giving the Eagles an extra couple of runs. So Marmoleos steps into the plate. And here comes the first offering. It's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. And the count is 0-1. This is my first look at Ryosuke Moriwaki. And so here comes the 0-1 pitch. He kicks and he fires. There's a breaking ball that misses outside. The count now goes to 1-1. So I don't know if some of you guys are watching the feed as we're making the call here. This is one weird-looking delivery. He works from the stretch. He pauses, and then it's almost like he's very over the top. He's got a quirky motion here. He hooks the ball behind him. There's a fastball that drops in for a called strike. The count is now 1-2 to Marmoleos. Jose Marmoleos is probably watching this and saying, I've never seen anything like this in North America. Looks like it's one of those bad reactions. So here comes the 1-2. And there is a split finger pitch that misses down, and the count goes to 2-2. Our friend Shotgun Shell says, did you see all 5 NHL playoff series are going to 7 games? NHL's rolling in some extra dough. I've said the Toronto Maple Leafs are not going to win tomorrow night. That's been my prediction. I see the Pittsburgh Penguins are going to be going 7 with the Rangers. Sidney Crosby is out with a concussion. There's the 2-2 pitch. That is a breaking ball swung on and missed. Marmoleos is retired for the first out here in the 7th inning. So 1 up and 1 away, and that's going to bring up the shortstop Igor Emoji. For Emoji tonight, he is 1 for 2. He's also drawn a walk. He has raised his average to 200 as he's only 2 for 10 on the season. So yeah, these 7-game series, it kind of makes you wonder. They're going to play 7 when you can get it done in 1 or best of 3. Here comes the first offering. It's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is 1-0. A funny story, when I was in Edmonton a few years ago, and we were coaching in the Western Major League, we had rain that was coming through right before first pitch. And our manager, I don't know who we were playing, the opposition manager, were at home plate, and they talked to the umpires. And there is a fastball that misses down, and the count is now 2-0. And I said to our manager, they decided, hey, we're going to call the game off right there. It was supposed to be a 7 o'clock start. And they said, hey, we're gonna shut her down right there. We're going to call it. And anyways, Ray got back to the dugout, and I said, Ray, what are you doing? He looks at me and goes, what are you talking about? I go, we got, whatever it was, 2,400 fans in the stands. people are eating chips, they're buying their beers, they're doing all that stuff. And you called the game after about 10 minutes, right? Because we had a thunderstorm about to roll through and it looked like it was going to be brutal. There's a breaking ball that's taken for a called strike. I said, now they announced that the game is done. They're all going home. I said, you could have announced that the game is done in an hour. Let everybody enjoy their hot dogs and buy their beer and do whatever else, and then say, hey, the game's postponed. The weather isn't going to get any better. There's a fastball swung on. It's grounded over to third. Moji is legging it down the line. It's fired over to first, and that is going to retire Moji on a ground out 5-3. So 2 away here in the 7th inning. I said, we got to be smart about this. If you've got 2,500 people in your seats drinking beer and eating food, why are you getting rid of them at 6:10? Get rid of them another hour later. And he's like, yeah, you're right. Never thought of that. And I'm going, well, geez. Anyways, so here is Ryosuke Tatsumi. The first pitch he sees is a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Tatsumi tonight is officially 1 for 2. He's got a single and an RBI. He's grounded to the pitcher, and he is also walked. It's been a productive evening for the Eagles center fielder. There is a breaking ball that catches the outside corner, and the count goes to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. That's just the foresight of being able to think about those things, right? And of course, when you're managing or you're coaching, you're like, you don't always think about things outside the box, especially the baseball stuff, but it's important for the ownership to make sure they get their payday. There's a ball that misses outside, especially when the game is postponed. It's like you're getting an extra food and concession night, even though you don't play the game. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Tatsumi. The right-hander Moriwaki holds at the belt. He kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that misses inside. Counts now 2-2. That pitch actually almost hit the left-handed stick. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Moriwaki is ready to go back to work. He doesn't waste a whole lot of time. He holds at the chest. And here he kicks and he fires. It's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep right center field. Racing back on it is Ito. He makes the catch, and that is going to retire Tatsumi for out number 3. So there was no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board here in the bottom of the 7th inning, or in the top of the 7th inning, I should say. We are now through 6.5 and moving to the bottom of the 7th. It is the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles trailing the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles leading the Saitama Seibu Lions 4-1. Boy, we got to get that coffee going. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be right back in just a couple minutes. We're glad you're with us. Here is our friend Matt again.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Appreciate you, Matt. And we are going to be cruising to the bottom half of the 7th inning. The starting pitcher for the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles, Takahisha Hayakawa, has been absolutely cruising through his 6 innings of work. And he is definitely been the bright spot and the star to keep the Lions off balance. But he is done for the night as we've got Alan Pazenich coming into the ball game. He is taking over as the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles are going to the pen. So Pazenich is taking over. Another former big leaguer. There is also some changes defensively. We're going to have to get those for you in just a couple moments as they come available. So we'll see how that is going to play out here. So the second pitcher now for the Eagles. Here's the first pitch. It is a fastball that catches the outside corner for a called strike. And the count is quickly 0-1 to the hitter Suge. It'll be Suge, Kuriyama, and Ito here to face Buzenich. There's a fastball that misses, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Here is another one of those players. We're talking about North American players. There is a fastball that is swung on and missed. Playing over. So Buzenich is a young guy. He's 31 years old. He'll be 32 a little bit later this year. He originally was a 25th round pick of the Los Angeles Angels from Kennesaw State University in Georgia. And the count now is 2 balls and strikes to Suge. So working from the right side, and there's a breaking ball waved at and missed. And that is going to retire Suge on strikes for the first out of the inning. So 1 up and 1 away. It's going to bring up Takumi Kuriyama. So a few things as we're talking about here about Buzenich. He pitched 2 years in the big leagues, 51 games to be exact, with the Minnesota Twins. The last time he appeared in the big leagues was in 2018. You know, he wasn't all that bad. The first year he was with the Twins, he was 1-1, and he had a 1.99 ERA over 28 games. Worked 31 2/3 innings, striking out 23. There's a first pitch breaking ball delivered to Kuriyama. He checks his swing. They appeal down to third, but they say he didn't go. The count is 1-0. Second year he was in the big leagues, he was 4-1, but he had a fluffed up ERA of 7.82. There's a fastball that catches the outside corner, and the count now is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. He didn't quite have the same success his second year in the big leagues, so then he taking his act overseas. There's a ball that misses outside. Count is now 2-1. He certainly has got himself a payday. He's been with the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles his entire NPB career. He's done quite well with them. Here comes the pitch. It's a fastball swung on and fouled away. The count is now 2-2 to Kuriyama. His career 8-7. Check that, 7-7 in the NPB. He's got a career 2.83 ERA. He's also got 18 saves and 133 2/3 innings of work. And here's the pitch. It is a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is now 3-2 to Kuriyama. So you can go over and have a nice career in the Japanese league. And we see that with a lot of players. They go across, and maybe they're too good for AAA, like Marmoleos, not good enough for the big leagues. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and that keeps the count at 3-2. So a guy bounces over, and next thing you know, you're able to have yourself a career. And the money in Japan is pretty good. Usually guys who come over with what we would call not a lot of pedigree, usually they get themselves about $750,000 US for playing in that first year. And then it's kind of like you got to earn your way and be able to do more to earn more. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is grounded to the right side of the infield. It's going to get through the 4-hole past the diving second baseman. That's going to be into right field for a single. A 1-out single by Kuriyama. And Shotgun Shell says, "And 6 girlfriends." Yeah, possibly so. You know, when I was over in Japan, it was kind of funny. You know, the Japanese, and I say this out of full respect, I kind of had a chuckle about it, and I'll say this here, that the one thing that I really noticed in Japan was the thing that you see in North America. There's a lot of people that will spend time on dental hygiene. There's a fastball swung on it. It's lined back off the pitcher. It hits Buzenich in the leg. It's going to go through the 4-hole into right field. And Ito is going to have himself a base hit. Kuriyama is going to go all the way around to third, and Buzenich is going to hobble around the mound here. They're going to have to send the trainer out to have a look at him. But that ball was absolutely scorched by Ito. They're going to want a couple of pitches here. Bozenic is going to hobble back to the top of the mound, but they're going to take him out here and do the typical thing where they take him into the trainer's room and have a look. So we're going to hold this up here as he limps off the mound. So he's getting the Japanese treatment. We talked about this before. A guy gets hurt and they'll take him off the field down into the trainer's room to go have a look at him. The pitch came back. It was lined right back, and it actually hit the back of the right foot. Bozenic does a terrible job of his landing. He spins himself all the way around. He's not in a fielding position. The ball hits him in the back of the foot and carry him through the four-hole. So they're going to go and take him and have a look at him to see where it is. I thought it hit him in the shin, to be honest, when I first saw it live. But when we come and now it's off the back. It's almost like off the back of the heel. So here we go. We've got twice tonight the pitchers have been scorched by comebackers. Once earlier on, and now here another one. The manager for the... So Troy says, what were you saying about their dental hygiene? The Japanese, just as a whole, as a culture, when I noticed, you didn't see a lot of people with braces. That was one thing. And the second thing is again, it's not important so much about about that for the people. I don't think that they put a huge importance on the dental hygiene. And by the looks of it, this might be it for Bozenic. And the manager is coming out, and it looks like they're going to get a injury timeout here. They're getting a new baseball. They're going to have to make a pitching change here with runners on the corners. So Bozenic's day is done. Manager Ishii has come out to make the change. They do have a right-hander up in the bullpen. So he's going to be able to get the extra time he needs. That looks like it's Enraku. I'll come back to my story in just a second here. As he is going to get a drink of water and he's getting himself ready. I'm not sure if that is Enraku or not, but we'll see in just a moment when he comes into the ball game. So we'll tell that story. So, it's some cultures, it's just not important. Not important for the teeth to be that good. And so that was one thing I did notice with the Japanese, is that they weren't into the braces or into the dental stuff that sometimes you see here in North America, where people are really concerned about some of their appearances. But that, in my opinion, was something that was very, very much picked up on. So you see a really good looking lady, and then she flashes you her smile, and then your knees buckle a little bit. So that's just one of the things that I picked up when I was in Japan. It's not restricted to everybody, but it's just something that was quite noticeable, especially when you come from another country. I can only imagine what they say about us, North Americans who go over there. The other thing that was also interesting when I was in Japan was I could be in a subway and I could stand, and I'm a full head taller than everybody else. I used to stand at 6'2". I'm sure I'm shrinking a bit. And standing at 6'2", I could look from one end of the subway to the other and hardly see any heads in the way. I had a nice clear path and a good view. So we do have a pitching change that's coming in here. This is going to be Tomohiro Enraku, as I had suggested. So he's going to get all the time he needs to get himself warmed up here. He was getting loose in the bullpen, so I'm not sure where that is going to be, where he's at in his warm-ups. So he might be ready to go a little bit sooner than other guys. So Enraku is in the ball game. It is actually in the bottom of the seventh. I apologize for that. I got to get my ticker updated. I was making my coffee in between innings. Hopefully it'll be ready by the time the next inning is ready to go. So I'll make that change for you. We're in the bottom of the seventh. And Enraku has completed his warm-up tosses. Ready to get this one back underway. Okay, so Shotgun Shell says, yeah, nice clear path. Absolutely. You get to see right over top of everybody. So here comes the first pitch from Enraku. It's a breaking ball swung on and missed, and the count is 0-1. So it is the 9-hole hitter Yuichi Kaneko at the plate. Kaneko is 1 for 2 tonight. He hit a triple his last time up. He's also flown out to left field. They're shading him slightly to the opposite field, the way the outfield is playing him. He's a left-handed stick. So here comes the 0-1 pitch. There's a fastball swung on and missed. And the count is now 0-2. I'll tell you guys a story. I don't want to say it's a gross story, but it was actually something that you don't see typically in Japan. So I'll try to keep it where it's laughable, but at the same time, when I was on one of the trains, it was absolutely disgusting. So no balls and 2 strikes. Here comes the pitch. It is a fastball that is swung on and missed. And then Raku strikes out Kaneko for the second out of the inning, and that is going to leave it up to Seiji Kawagawa, who is the leadoff hitter. So the runner at third is Kuriyama. The runner at first is Ito. And the leadoff hitter, Kawagawa, steps to the plate. He is 0 for 3 today. He has struck out twice and grounded to first. So I'm staying in Osaka. This is the second time I was in Japan. But I wasn't staying right in downtown Osaka. There's a little suburb or a little place that would be one train station from Osaka Station. And it was called Tsukamoto. And I stayed in Tsukamoto. It was okay. It was a decent place. And the thing that, as we have our North American audience listening in, you could get I think it was like a Best Western hotel I was staying at, and you could get prices. This is 2 years ago. There's a first pitch breaking ball that misses outside. The count is 1-0. You could get what we would call like a Best Western or I don't know, maybe a Fairfield Inn type hotel for about $50 a night US. This is 2 years ago. When I go down the I-5 to Seattle, I'm lucky to get anything that's under $95 a night for one room on that type of hotel. All I need is a place to put my head down and a clean place to get asleep. So 2 balls and no strikes to the leadoff hitter Kawagawa here. Anyways, I'm staying one station away, and I get on the train. And anyways, there's a guy that's on the I'm a couple of other trains away. This guy gets on the train, and he's absolutely hammered. He's drunk. And I'm standing back at the corner. And as the train is wobbling, it's a packed train. And they throw the ball over to first base, and diving back in time is the base runner Ito. Our friend Vivid Life says, shout out to the Fairfield. I take it that's where he's working. So what ends up happening is we had a good time here. This guy decides that he's a fall down drunk, and he's at the by the door. He throws up on a guy who's standing right beside him, and it's like all down this guy. And this guy was so well dressed. He had a great suit on. He had a great tie, everything like this. And here he's just absolutely covered in this guy's puke. There's a split finger pitch that drops in for a called strike, and the count is 2-1. So as I'm telling this story, people are evacuating from the chat right now, which is kind of funny. Anyways, it was absolutely one of the most weirdest things you'd ever seen. But unfortunately, it was really, really strange. And you don't see that always with the Japanese people, but you do get the odd person. But how they handled it, I mean, if I would have happened to me, where if somebody would have lost their cookies on me, I would have been really upset. I would have been really, really mad. And they just handled it so well. I couldn't believe it. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is now 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, that's the way it goes sometimes. So 2 balls and 2 strikes for the left-handed hitting Kawagawa. The right-hander Raku is looking to finish off the 7th inning here. Here's the pitch. It is a split-finger pitch swung on. This ball is punched through the 6 hole. It's going to get into left field. Ito is going to go all the way around to third. And the batter, Kawagawa, is going to cruise in with a single, and he's got himself an RBI here. And they've cut the lead to 4-2. So Ito goes around to third. It's going to bring up Takezawa to the plate. And they've got the exact same situation with runners on the corners, 1 run in. And Takizawa is going to step to the dish. That bat actually, as he swung at the pitch, it actually broke the bat, and all that was left was the handle in his hand as he was running to first base. It's kind of weird. The way he threw the bat at it, was able to punch it through, and the bat ends up breaking. It's too bad. That bat got you a hit and an RBI. So Takizawa steps to the plate. He is 1 for 3 tonight. He has singled, struck out looking, and popped to third. Mr. Cap says, definition of the wrong place at the wrong time. Living Room says, why would anybody leave during the puke story? Yeah, well, maybe the story was puke. And there is a fastball that's taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. But it was one of the most wildest things I'd ever witnessed, when you're traveling in a way, like, especially when you get to ride the subways and the trains and that sort of stuff. But it was kind of weird. I really didn't expect it. I didn't expect to see that in Japan. But they do say that sometimes people don't handle their alcohol very well. Mr. Cap says, let's go at 7.5. We are still alive. Yeah, it's at 6 now. And there's a lot of runners on board here. That 7.5 could fall quickly. Here comes the pitch. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is lined into right center field. The ball's down, and it's up all against the wall. This could be it right now. 1 run is in. Heading for third, and heading home is the runner, and that is going to get 2 runs in as Ito crosses the plate. It is a triple for Takizawa, and they have now taken a 5-4 lead here. Is that what we've got? No, we've got a 4-4 game now. That is where we're at here. So a triple for Takizawa. That's going to cash in Ito, and it's going to cash in Kagawa. And there you go with 1 swing of the bat. There goes your 7.5, Mr. Cap. And this game is all knotted up at 4s. And who would have saw this coming a couple moments ago? Probably not me when Alan Pezenich struck out the first batter he saw and then took a missile off of the leg. So that's going to bring up the go to the night. I say go to the night. It's Shuta Tonosaki, who's made a couple of errors. He's made an error, and he's grounded into a double play, and he's whiffed on a ball in the infield. And the first pitch to him is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Ruben Hogan bounces in. Zero Fox jumps in. Shotgun Shell says he was calling the big runs tonight, and he's also got it. There's a breaking ball that's down. It gets away, and here comes the runner from third. He's going to score, and that is going to put the Lions ahead 5-4 on a wild pitch. That pitch was in the dirt. This game is just getting away from the Eagles like you wouldn't believe. Another run on the board, and it's now 5-4 for the Seibu Lions. Who would have saw this coming at the start of the 7th inning? Ruben says the Eagles have been struggling. Well, so much for that 11-game win streak. This is looking now like it's going to be a 4-game losing streak if they can't come back and win this one. Crazy stuff. So here comes the 1-1 pitch, and there is a breaking ball swung on and fouled away. The count now goes to 1-2 on Tonosaki. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. There is action in the Lions bullpen. There's a fastball swung on. It's grounded to short. They throw to first, and that is going to retire the sign. That's going to go down as a ground out. 6-3 for out number 3 here in the 7th inning. But there was a lot of damage done as the Saitama Seibu Lions score 4 runs in the inning. There were 4 hits. There was no errors, and there was nobody left aboard. We are now moving to the top of the 8th inning. It is the Saitama Seibu Lions 5, the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles 4. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back in just a couple minutes. It is a crazy night here in the home of the Saitama Seibu Lions. We'll be right back after this. And by the way, Zero Fox is in the house. And here's our April winners.
Hey, welcome back. Thanks for checking out Last Wraps. we had some winners in last month's mystery pack giveaway. The names right here, and maybe here are the winners. Make sure you are following the instructions on our other video to qualify this month for a pack of mystery cards from Zero Fox Sports Cards. Thanks for checking it out. Enjoy the ball game.
Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the top of the 8th inning. It's going to be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters in the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles batting order. That means Daichi Suzuki, Jinjiro Sumitani, and Haruki Nishikawa. And there is going to be a pitching change for the Saitama Seibu Lions, and we'll get you that in a minute. We just have to confirm who that is. I believe it's Kaima Taira, but we'll have to see as we get it here, and that's exactly who it is. Number 61 is in the ball game, and he is going to be the 4th pitcher used now by the Saitama Seibu Lions. And the first pitch to Suzuki is a fastball that misses way inside, almost hits him for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. So our friend Shotgun Shell says a throw into the camera well, an injured pitcher, and whatever it takes on Friday the 13th, especially here in North America. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count is 2-0. One of the problems that the Lions will have is being able to throw strikes. This fella here, Tyre, is pretty good. And here comes the pitch. It is a breaking ball that misses up, and the count is now 3-0. If I put the kiss of death on this pitcher and told you that he's entered the ball game, and there is a fastball taken for a called strike. And the count now is 3-1. So 3 balls and 1 strike to Suzuki. Now, if I said to you when we're watching this ball game here, as we're in the bottom of the 7th inning, that the pitcher Tyra on the season has an ERA of 0. There's a fastball swung on it, is lifted into shallow left field. Coming in on it is Kaneko. He makes the catch. Suzuki is retired for the first out of the inning. That might be the kiss of death. He's appeared in 19 ball games. He's 1-1 on the season. He's got a save. He has given up 1 run, but it was unearned. He's pitched 18 2/3 innings, allowing 10 hits and walking 6 and striking out 30. But this might be the time that probably Tyra is about to get roughed up. Here's the pitch. It is a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Again, was being Friday the 13th at our time here. So here comes the 0-1 pitch. There's a fastball swung on and missed, and the count now goes to 0-2 to Sumitani. He's having an absolutely fantastic season. Followed it up last year. Last year he was great too. He had an ERA of 0.90 in 60 innings pitched. A fastball that is swung on and missed. That is going to retire Sumitani on strikes for the 2nd out of the inning. That's going to bring up Haruki Nishikawa. Last year he had 70 strikeouts in 60 innings. He's on pace to even better that this year, as that is his 31st strikeout, and he has pitched now officially 19 1/3 innings. So the top of the order, Haruki Nishikawa takes a breaking ball outside for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. And the way the catcher reacted is the way that I reacted. Why did the right hand not go up? Pitch looked pretty darn good. And here comes the pitch. It is a fastball. This ball is lifted down the right field line. Moving over to it is Ito. He's going to make the catch, and that is going to do it. That was a pretty easy inning, as Tyre has come in and retired the side in order 1, 2, 3. So for the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles, there was no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. Moving to the bottom of the 8th inning, it is a 5-4 Lions lead. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be right back in just a moment with all the calls at the bottom of the 8th inning. We're glad you guys could be here. Here is friend Steve again.
Hey guys, and thank you, Freddie. Steve coming back at you. That's right, Steve Rademacher. I would like to thank each and every one of you that is tuned into my channel. And today, let's do a little shout out for some other great channels you should be watching. There is WVlogs 18. There's Big D's Sports and Collectibles. You all know another Hollis build. Why not Like Father, Like Son? That's a great duo that does some great stuff. It shows some great cards. And of course, the one and only Bud Stoney, creators of One of Ones, or creator of One of Ones, and they're all signed on the back. Bud Stoney, One of One, like this beautiful Robin Yount that he made for me. He made me another Robin Yount, this time mini, and a Christian Yelich mini. Great cards, and he does more than cards. We have darts of Hulk Hogan and many other things. So give them a look-see and give me another look-see. Subscribers are always welcome, and back to Freddie.
Appreciate you there, Steve. And we do have a pitching change. It's another right-hander coming in. It is the Taiwanese right-hander, Chi-Hao Sung, coming in relief. I have to say, when there are pitchers in the NPB or players in the NPB that I take a look at, I say, hey, do I like this player or not? This is a guy that I really like. For me, every time we've watched him, when I watched him pitch last year, it was like he had ice water in his veins. And when I watch him pitch now, it's the same deal. But he's going to be having to face some of the meat of the order, literally. It's going to be Yamakawa, Nakamura, and Suge. As we said, Yamakawa and Nakamura, they kind of look like bookend tackles. Yamakawa's average has been lifted to 365. He is 1 for 2. He's got a single, a strikeout, and a walk tonight. He's got those 14 home runs, and there could be one in play here somewhere. It would really help the Lions, give them a little bit of a buffer. There's a first pitch fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is 1-0. Yamakawa waiting on the offering from Sung, gets the sign from his catcher, and he's ready to go back to work. He doesn't waste a lot of time. And he kicks and he fires. There's a breaking ball swung on. It has popped up on the right side of the infield. Coming over underneath it is the first baseman, and it looks like that's Daichi Suzuki. He's going to make the catch, and that is going to retire him for out number 1. Looks like Jose Marmoleos is out of the lineup. They did make some defensive changes, and I'll have to get those for you in just a moment. As we said before, sometimes until they come up to bat, I don't always get the changes. But the shortstop is Murray Biashi. As he came in, he's going to be hitting in the place for Marmoleos. Moji went from short to third, and Suzuki went from third to first. So really only one player in the lineup that has changed. And here comes the first offering to Takeya Nakamura. It's a breaking ball swung on and missed, and the count is 0-1. Nakamura tonight is 1 for 3. He homered back in the second inning. It seems like a distant memory. He has also struck out twice. So here comes the 0-1 offering. Sung kicks and he delivers. It's a breaking ball that misses down and away. And the count now goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Sung working from the stretch here with 1 away. He gets the sign and he kicks and fires. It is a fastball that, boy, oh boy, misses inside. The count is 2-1. We're talking how sometimes pitches look pretty good, and that sure looked pretty good to me. So 2 balls and 1 strike to the right-handed hitting Nakamura. And here comes the 2-1 pitch. It's a fastball swung on. It's lifted foul into the seats, and that's going to run the count to 2-2. Mr. Cap asks a good question. He says, what foreign league would you guys say is below the MLB? I would say every foreign league is below the MLB. And the reason for that is when I look at the Japanese league, and they always used to say that the Japanese league is the equivalent like to AAA, or it's better than AAA, or it's the closest thing between AAA and the big leagues. I would disagree with that, and I'm going to express myself why. There's a fastball that is swung on. This ball is belted to deep center field. Moving back is Tatsumi. He makes the catch. That's going to retire Nakamura for the second out of the inning. Well, when you think of Major League Baseball and you think of they don't have limits on how many international players could be in the lineup. I think of the Chicago White Sox right off the top of my head. How many Latin players are in that batting order? And you think of the Cubans right now that they have and the Dominican players. Lots of players in that order that are non-American players. And so when you're taking the best of the best from around the world and you're putting them out there, you can have as many as you want. Well, in the Japanese league, you can only have 3 players at one time in the game that are import players. And there is a breaking ball that misses upstairs to Suge, and the count is 1-0. Shotgun Shell says, what pays more, AAA or the NPB? NPB will pay more. NPB definitely pays more. And so we started talking about that earlier, where guys will come over. If you're a AAA guy, and it's your first time, there's a breaking ball swung on, it's grounded to short, it's fielded by the shortstop, and he fires over to first. And that is going to retire Suge on a ground out 6-3 for out number 3. I'll continue with my thoughts here in just a moment when we come back. There was no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We're now through 8 complete. It is the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles trailing the Seibu Lions 5-4. We are going to have a closer coming in for the Lions. Stick around, everybody. $750,000 to offer you in there. $750,000 US. That's generally what they pay to start. It's not a bad chunk of change. A lot better than what you're going to get in AAA. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be right back after this Hall of Fame memory. Welcome back, everybody. We do have another pitching change for the Seibu Lions. Their closer is coming into the ball game. This is going to be Tatsushi Masuda. He's looking to come in to lock this one down. He's got an ERA of 0.64 on the season. He's allowed 2 hits, and he has struck out 8 in his 14 appearances. And so that's what we're looking at here. Masuda in relief, trying to close this one out for the Seibu Lions. I started to talk about a little bit, and I said about what the players will make when they go over there, and it's for guys who are the AAA players or guys who are minor league experience, and usually it's about $750,000. And so those guys will come in making that kind of money. And then what will happen is after that is you kind of got to play your way into more positions, or at least play your way into more money. And those are some of the things. There are a lot of defensive changes here that we're probably not going to be able to catch up to you on here. Looks like there's 4 of them for the Lions, as our bookend tackles at first and third are out of the ball game. Yamakawa is done, and Nakamura is also finished. So they're going lean and mean, so to speak, defensively. But I was saying about the $750,000 that they would be making in these situations. So, for example, there's a fellow that I know here, and his father, I used to referee basketball with the dad, and the son is currently pitching in the bullpen for the Chicago Cubs. He's in his, I think, 2nd or 3rd year with the Cubs. He began his big league career with the Padres organization. Anyways, I was talking to the dad, and I said, hey, what's Rowan doing these days? And is he, what's going to happen here? And, he was up and down with the Cubs at the big league level. And he says, well, he's going to have to make a decision here because he's going to have to go get a payday because, he's been up and down. He's not making the big league money. Either he's going to have to stick or he's going to have to go overseas. Anyways, this is, I think, his 3rd season now with the Cubs. And he's, making major league money, which is good. But if he wasn't, he was going to take a run at going over either to Korea or to Japan. There's a first pitch ball up to Kurikawa. And here comes the next offering, and that's a fastball that misses outside, and the count is now 2-0 to the second baseman, Kurikawa. Kurikawa, Asamura, and Shimouchi are the three hitters scheduled up for the Eagles in their half of the ninth inning. They're trailing by a run here. They need a base runner. And so here comes the 2-0 pitch. There's a fastball swung on. It is popped up on the third base side, but it is going to reach the seats behind the third base dugout. The count is now 2-1. So guys who are those type of situations where they're AAA guys or they're fringe big leaguers, they can go over there, they pitch that first year, and then they can start re-upping their contract. And I think of another guy named Scott Matheson. Scott Matheson was a kid from British Columbia. He had pitched in he's not a kid, he's a man, of course, but young man who pitched in the Phillies organization. And then he got an opportunity to go overseas, and he signed with the Yomiuri Giants. And he pitched his way into a huge contract. In fact, I think he ended up getting about $15 million for 3 years, as he was kind of an eighth inning, ninth inning guy. Had a great career in Japan. There's a fastball that swung on, and it's going to reach the netting on the third base side, and the count is now 2-2. But when you go over there after you pitch a couple of years and you show that you deserve it, they'll throw the money at you. And I think it was the most money by a foreign player, that he had received, or a foreign pitcher that he had got. That kind of coin. It was a pretty big deal. Here's the 2-2 pitch. There's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away. And so when I talked to his father, I said, hey, what's going on with Scott? And his dad basically said, he goes, he's making more money playing in Japan because the Tampa Bay Rays had offered him a minor league contract with an invite to spring training, and the Yomiuri Giants were throwing $15 million on the table. So do the math. I'm not coming back to North America. I'm going to pitch over here, and where he basically was a star for about 6 or 7 seasons. There's a fastball that swung on. It's lifted into deep left center field. This ball is going to get down. Again, confusion between the left fielder and the center fielder, and cruising into second base with a leadoff double is Kurikawa, as there was some shoddy defensive play out there again in left field. And the Eagles, once again, are flapping their wings. And that is going to bring up Hideo Asamura. So Troy says, if they did that in America, people would say it's racist to limit foreign players. Well, one of the things that I also want to talk about is that there were limits on players, but the way it was working, and I don't know where it's at right now currently in Major League Baseball, but there were limits on players, and I'm going to explain to you how. In the United States, every team was given a certain amount of visas per team. So if you were big league level, AAA, AA, high A, low A, rookie ball, you only had a certain amount of visas for international players. There's a fastball that's taken for a called strike. The best one I can use, I don't know where it's at today, but after September 11th occurred, there was a lockdown, they started to limit the amount of foreign visas that were given out to people, whether it be for athletes, for entertainers, for all of that stuff. And so what ended up happening is in Major League Baseball, they put a cap on 25 international visas per team. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed, and the count is now 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Asamura. So at the Major League level, you might have 9, 10, 11, 12 guys, but all the way from AAA on down, you might only have those other 12 or 13 visas. Now that has been relaxed, but I do know that there is a limit on the number of visas per team. I don't know the number. Could be 40, could be 45, could be 50. There's a breaking ball that misses outside to Asamura. It's taken for a ball, and the count is now 1-2. But as I said, right after that was a problem after September 11th because they were locking down on the number of foreign visas that they were able to hand out to foreigners to be able to come into work. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. And Masuda is ready to go back to work. He kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball swung on and missed. And Asamura fails to do his job. He strikes out for the 3rd time tonight. He has gone for out number 3, and that is going to leave it up to Hiroki Shimouchi with 1 away here and a runner on second. For the amount of times that the balls are bunted in the Japanese league, this would have been one for Asamura to get into play, to at least move the runner on to third, because then you got multiple cracks to bring him in. that are a little different than the other one. Our friend Mr. Cap says that the limited number of imported players, they wouldn't be the most elite league in the world. Yeah, that is true. Living Room says it's an interesting story. There is a fastball swung on. This ball's belted to deep left field. Moving back on it to make the catch is the left fielder, Kaneko, and that is going to retire Shimochi for the second out of the inning. That's my whole point right there, everybody. Hideto Asamura bunts the ball in that situation. Kurikawa gets over to third. And then that deep fly ball that was just hit by Shimochi would have been a sacrifice fly, and we would have a tie ball game right now. So that's not what happened. And so now we have a pinch hitter coming up for the Golden Eagles. This is number 33. This is Ginji, as he's making his first appearance into the fray. He was pinch hitting in the spot where Jose Marmoleos was hitting. So Ginji is stepping up the bat with 2 away here. So we're down to the final out. The Golden Eagles are trying to get themselves this run home from second base. Masuda holds at the belt. He kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball that misses in. The count is 1-0. Our friend Mr. Cap says the Dominicans and Cubans are hitting bottle caps by the age of 3. Yep, they're born with baseball bats in their hands and gloves and all the rest of that stuff. Or at least it seems like it. So here comes the 1-0 pitch to Ginji. And it's a fastball. This ball is swung on. This ball is belted into right field. It's not deep enough. It's going to go right to the glove of Ito. And that is going to end the ball game here as Ginji flies out for the third out of the inning. And that is going to retire the side. So again, lost opportunity for the Eagles in their half of the ninth inning. No runs, 1 hit. They strand the leadoff double by Kurikawa. There were no errors and 1 runner left on base. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple minutes to wrap this up. I'll give you the breakdown of this game. On top of it, we'll look at the out-of-town scoreboard before we do this all over. And again, we'll give you the update on our schedule for next week. We got another game here tomorrow night. We'll bring you that in just a moment. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be right back.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for checking out the game and Last Raps Baseball. This is Dave, Zero Thought Sports Cards. If you like pack openings, baseball, all that good stuff, check us out. Drop a comment on our channel this month to win a mystery pack of cards. All you gotta do is say Last Rap sent you to be entered. And we'll drop a video later on this month announcing the winner. Enjoy the game.
Welcome back, everybody. Just a couple of programming notes, and then we'll look at the out-of-town scoreboard, and then we'll wrap this baby up. Tomorrow night, we'll be back on the stream again, as we're going to call the game between the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks and the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters. So hopefully you guys can come on in and check it out. That will be again at 10 o'clock Pacific or 1 a.m. Eastern. We'll give you game 3 of that series. We would have called this one again, but we can't do the earlier start. The earlier start on this one would be at 9 o'clock Pacific time. So we have to go with that game, which is a little bit later. There are another couple of finals from around the NPB. First of all, we're going to take a look at the Central League. The final score is the Hanshin Tigers 9, the Yokohama Dana Bay Stars 2. Aoyagi got the win. He goes to 4-1 for Hanshin. Kamachitani takes the loss for Yokohama. He drops to 2-3. And there were 2 home runs hit in the ball game, both by Nakano for the Tigers. Your final score again, 9-2. It's in the top of the 8th inning, and the Yomiuri Giants have stormed all the way back. So much for that 5-0 lead that the Chinichi Dragons once had. 5-9-0 for the Dragons, 7-9-1 for the Giants. It is the Dragons batting in the top of the 8th inning with 2 away. And they've only got 4 outs to go to try to claw those runs back. The Yakult Swallows have recaptured the lead over the Hiroshima Carpet is 4-3 in the top of the 8th. 4-13-0 for the Swallows, 3-8-1 for the Carp. That's where they stand in the bottom of the 8th inning. In the Pacific League, the other final scores, The other final score is the Oryx Buffaloes shut out the Chibalote Marines 1-0. Yoshinobu Yamamoto got the win. He's 4-2. Sato takes the loss. He is 0-1. Urano picks up his 11th save of the season. Oryx 1, Chiba 0, your final. And in the top of the ninth inning, the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks are down to their final couple outs. They got a runner on second with one away. And it is a 2-0 ball game for the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters. They're trying to close this one out. 2-8-0 for the Fighters. 0-6-1 for the Hawks. That's where that stands. Here, your final score was the 5-4 for the Saitama Seibu Lions. It was all Eagles early on. They got the scoring going in the second inning. It was a walk to Hiroki Shimochi and a walk to Igoro Moji, a single by Ryosuke Tatsumi, and that scored Shimochi, and that put the Eagles up 1-0. The Eagles gave one back in their half of the second inning as Takiya Nakamura stepped up and did a solo shot, and that made the score 1-1. In the top of the fifth, it was a gift by the Lions' second baseman, Shuta Tonosaki. With 2 out, he made an error. As he made the error and threw the ball into the camera well in the back end of a double play that would have ended the inning, gave the Eagles second life. Asamura went to second on that error. And Shimochi walked. Then it was an RBI double by Marmoleos and a single by Igoro Moji. Knocked in another run. And that ended up putting the score to 4-1 for the Eagles. Well, they looked like they were cruising until the seventh inning. Then it was a 4-run uprising by the Lions. They ended up knocking out the pitcher, the relief pitcher, and then they ended up cashing in some runs. So it was a strikeout to begin the inning as Alan Bezenich has come in. And he allowed a single to Kuriyama, and then Ito hit a line drive off of the pitcher's foot. They had runners on first and second. And then Yuji Kaneko struck out against Enraku, who came in relief. And Kawagawa had an RBI single and then a 2-run triple by Takizawa. Put the Lions up 5-4, and that's where it stood, and that's where we finished. So your final score was a 5-4 tonight for the Lions over the Eagles. Once again, everybody, I do want to say to everybody, we appreciate you all for stopping in tonight. And whether it be Shotgun Shell, Vivid Life, Zero Fox Sports, Mr. Cap, Troy, and also Troy's Cards, The Living Room, everybody here that came in for our support. If I missed you, I apologize, but I do want to thank everybody for being here tonight. Once again, everybody, it's been another Last Raps Baseball video production. We'll be back on again tomorrow, 10 o'clock Pacific, 1 a.m. Eastern, for all the calls between the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks and the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters. Thanks again, everybody. We'll see you all tomorrow. Have a great night, everybody. We will see you all again tomorrow. Thanks again, guys. Take care and have a great night.